Oh, I'm teaching myself to fix these audios and make them into videos so I can upload them myself. So far, I have learned how to put two of them together and render them into a single thing. It turns out that's easy. Like, you just load the two, you put the one, and then you re-render mix. It's all the stuff after that that I don't really know where to stop and if it improves or not. Like, I can do, like, this loudness adjustment, but I don't know how much quieter I should make it and stuff, because it's still blown out, it just doesn't hurt your ears. But you can do the same thing with just lowering the volume. And, yeah, what I basically learned is that I really do need, like, if I want to improve the quality, I need a different recording device that gets rid of all dropping starting. And the other thing I need, like, a better mic. That would be best if I could plug it into something and change the levels on it, so I could make it. The weird thing is that I need it sensitive enough to pick up like Sadie and people at that end, but not get blown out by Alex.
Yeah. I was literally just about to point out. I was listening to one of the episodes today. Like, wow. Anytime laughter erupts, I'm momentarily deafened by Alex.
Sorry. It's so funny.
No, it's okay. Everyone knows you're a loud person. Everyone's come to terms.
So,
I am.
Everybody knows and knows your shame. That did ask.
I don't.
Oh my god.
Forgive and forget.
If we never forget. Huh?
Damn it!
Did I just make that as SK? Yeah, I did.
It was such ominous music for a smiling woman in a sundress.
I just look out and see. And that was the first thing that came to mind.
Oh, who is it?
Oh, what the fuck? Sadie, what the fuck happened to you?
In Gray somewhere.
I feel. Was I the only one that also noticed fucking Evan at the door?
Apparently, I did not know Evan was there.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
In here's fine.
I think it's fine.
Both of these people saw Sadie and were confused as fuck when you walked
You
through
can
the door.
copy that in.
Fair.
Oh fuck, I gotta copy it.
Oh, someone
No,
does.
that's fair.
You dies.
Bless you! Bless my child.
Oh, here. If they ever want to include a deck of many things.
Oh, I have
Not
cards,
the
but I'll take them.
I literally forgot to take them out of my bag when I got back from the state fair, and I'm just like, I don't want to take these out when I get home. Here, Alex, and here's a justification.
Sounds good.
I think I have legitimately 3 more packs.
Back in college, I got, actually no, back in high school, I gave everyone that for Christmas once because I found 2 big containers of them at Costco. Yeah. Maybe it was Sam's Club at the time.
If you know that if you give Gunnar things, he won't know on cards.
No, it's fine. Sparky.
I probably won't have them in this campaign.
Yeah, no. It doesn't seem like something you would include.
Yes, the chaos.
I saw you pull. I just loudly went.
What?
That was your Orion.
Me and Michael turned around and started laughing because very ominous music for a girl riding a bike in a sundress.
Really, I had like I was like cruising around the city kind of mood. The sun has a sun hat.
Yeah.
So I have 2 things.
Why'd you give me that thing?
What do you
What's
mean?
that noise?
Is that yours?
No, I didn't give it to you. I sat it to the side so
Oh,
I could eat it
okay.
later.
No,
you
that's my
fuck.
fault.
It wasn't just
For
me.
me?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's mine.
Oh, it might be like chiptune music. I was blasting music on the
this
way.
I
is
sent a
these are
picture
rap.
of Bonnie and
No, I was super confused because I was listening to music that was very similar to that, and I'm like, that.
I've sent a picture of Bonnie at the Discord. Yep.
I want to steal this AC for a second.
Oh.
Are you trying to like squeeze me?
Yeah, I wasn't crushing your skull.
Oh my god.
Vanilla Coke. Oh shit, I need
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, I already leveled Sparky.
You did.
Am I
I mean, like my health and stuff, like
Oh, yeah.
health.
Because you guys slept again, I think. Did you?
Yeah, we slept
All we
and
did was like the show off things.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you slept
Yeah.
and then woke up. You want to do something, we're actually going to back on something real quick.
Yeah.
Evan.
Thank you.
Maybe the necromancer.
Yeah. There you go. But it's a necromancer. It's the only necromancer we have.
It's a necromancer for plants.
Don't you see the scythe?
It's the closest one to a necromancer.
It is unironically the closest one to
She
it.
wanted artificer, not necromancer.
I wanted a necromancer. I wasn't given a fake artificer.
I whipped it out. I didn't know what pocket it went back into.
I mean,
my
that's
suit.
fair. Knew immediately something was missing.
It would be impossible. So high.
Here, you can see some of the spicy ranch out of my wraps.
No.
Okay.
Just get a rolling pin and just...
Like a
No,
gusher.
stop with the noises.
You started it.
No, I didn't. What?
No.
Michael started.
Oh, you should make another Darwin light. Cause
Oh,
keep
yeah.
in, just in case.
I
What do you
will
think is open?
do that
Okay, apparently you think
before
it's
next session unless I forget.
Not be through the 20.
Oh.
That's an 8, not an S.
2 weeks?
Immediately
3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
What
I
is
just don't know why it was still open.
The 6th.
Not the 6th. It's
It is currently the 6th of August. 22nd's a Monday.
27.
That's please.
27th, there you go.
You guys on a 16?
Sure.
Yeah, or a little on the right here.
We're gonna play as Blaze. Can you recruit them into the?
Of
unit?
course.
Okay.
Look, Blaze only makes friends or incinerates you.
That's true.
These are the two.
There is
options.
exactly no
You make
in
friends and
between.
corpses.
Well, friends and dust piles.
Dust is generous.
Stop being listening.
Ooh, that's fun.
Let's see what the fuck.
Well, maybe nothing if these guys are his buddies.
You right?
Note that.
And a picture of that.
The 23rd.
Yeah. Gonna be the 13th today, or still the
Should be the 14th
13th?
from my notes.
Oh fuck, this was...
I don't know how many times you guys slept.
1. To level
Then
up.
it should be the 13th.
Had Gunmar backstory, then was
Hey,
Okay, so it should be the 13th.
Yep. In 53.
1853, a Thursday.
Oh, that's gonna get changed. But when I finish the
Okay.
calendar.
Date again?
July
13th.
13th.
The
July 13th, Thursday.
1853.
I won't worry about the weekday, because that won't come up for a while. I would say the new calendar is 12 months of 30 days. No leap days or anything like that.
Good.
No weekdays, weekend home.
It is 7 weeks. They do rotate. I do enjoy that. I like it when it's not all the same, like Cookie Camp, month by month by month. That'd be really nice for like an RPG, but it doesn't. I kind of like it as more of a realistic thing. But also taking out weekdays and stuff like that is just going to make it simpler. And once the say count.
they're all broken and all of them are just abuse.
They just
That should get our flying through.
are illegal flying through.
We playing GTA 5.
You doing that?
I don't know. I did it one day because I just wanted something to do. And
Blood.
I was feeling that way a while ago, and then I went to actually play the game, and it brought up a bunch of Rockstar bullshit. Like, hey, you want to download extra stuff on your computer? No, I want to find a different game actually.
That's where you
I
told
mean, he already owns it.
Yeah.
That's why there's no quality.
Potionless is incredibly helpful. We know we're gonna get Hill Stride and Strength.
I do want to point out that the lists are the same.
Yeah.
The only difference is the color coding.
Well, yeah, and we were looking. We only stopped at one shop for potions, and that was the Tall Elixir. When the Centurion Mining Surplus has Growth, Hill Giant Strength, and
Oh,
Resistance.
totally forgot about that.
We'll probably be making us.
I can get that happen.
Oh, I think we'll start. Oh, it is the morning of July the 13th. You guys have all just leveled up. Sparky, you had something you wanted to do?
I get up about an hour earlier than everybody else.
If I wake up Gunmar, who is currently
I'm gonna say there's no real flux and everything, so I wouldn't be able to force myself. So I'm gonna have a wake up call.
Sure, yeah. You hear a knock at your door.
Coming. Alright, I've got some stuff to do this morning.
Just wonder if you know.
Okay,
You got it?
got it.
Alright.
I leave.
Cool.
Hurry all the way over to...
Okay. As you leave the lodge,
Okay.
you set up an hour early before everybody else. Call it 8 a.m. You guys had a pretty late night. Had a lot of talking and stuff. Yeah. The city's actually in full bustling mood. The kind of city itself kind of wakes up around 7, maybe 6:30.
Yeah.
As you're making your way across the Grove Circle, you do see a somewhat disheveled, kind of tall-ish young man in flowing robes and a staff just sitting beside the sitting on the lip of the grand fountain, just kind of looking around. He's got a headband on, brown hair. You recognize him.
Wow, back for being where you need it. And I'm gonna go over to physics. Hi, physics. Pleasure meeting you this morning.
Okay, this is where we are. Okay. Hi, good to see you again. Right. Wait, no. Okay. What do you want from me now? Oh, no, not now, this time. Kinda.
In this entire time, Sparky's doing the thing where like he's trying to jump into the conversation, but he keeps talking just before.
Just, you know what? Well, maybe that...
I've got a question to ask you, physics.
Yeah.
I know there are certain rules and stuff to follow as King's Rep and...
Oh, we're not related.
No, not... Like, your job is related to... King's
Oh,
Rep
like
and
professionally?
Yes.
No, yeah.
No.
Kind of. Not really, but
And
yeah.
so I know you have a duty to this city, but I was hoping that I could a favor not as representative of a fellow in need of something that you have not given.
You see his eyes kind of slightly narrow, and he's thinking, and he's like, oh, remember this. This goes one of two ways.
And then I tell him.
Huh? You don't say it out loud, but you tell him what?
No. Me as Michael.
Michael
said,
did
I
all
want
that.
to reveal it to the table.
Oh!
Like I want the table to
sorry.
be part of this conversation, but I
But-
don't want them to know everything.
He stares at you until you understand.
That took me a second.
He gets Cantus to translate mentally.
And the worst part was I thought your confusion was physicist confusion.
Yeah.
Because physics is a total
And he's
issue.
thinking. Oh, once you ask, it's like, okay, good. It's not the other thing.
Oh.
I can't. No.
Don't
I get
tell me the other thing.
That's fine. I get oddly associated with it, but I'm unrelated. Anyway. So, go again. And you see him kind of just like do a kind of a long off distance, and you see him start muttering and kind of casting a spell. If you want, you can do an Arcana check to figure out what it is.
Oh shit. Fucking dice. Oh no, they're in the pocket.
You don't want to use the
Oh
candy
no.
dice?
I was in the correct pocket. Oh no, they're everywhere. 20-foot cone.
Oh shit.
It's a little broken. You might want to glue it. Speaking of which, you know where our super glue is?
Upstairs.
We
I have Gorilla Glue actually, but I don't know if you want to use that.
That is a 10. It's intelligence, yeah.
Arcana, but yes.
Well, yeah, I'm not proficient in it.
Then it's
Perfectly
intelligence.
Average.
Both things should be.
10 or 9?
You get a +1.
Oh no, it is a
say.
10.
Yeah.
I have a +0.
Oh, okay.
So 10.
You don't recognize the spell.
Figure I would.
But you see him, he's doing some very complex hand movements, and at times it looks like his hands go through each other. It's so complex that you're really like transfixed by that, but all of a sudden he looks at you and just goes like, alright, no, it should work out, yeah. And he just reaches into his robe and pulls out a scroll.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Cool, that's, okay, it's not the only one I have, but it's the only one I can give you,
That's
for...
perfectly understandable. I will never ask for another.
Gotcha. That's not true.
Fuck
maybe.
you, this is the timeline where it is.
Anyway, yeah, no. What? Careful with that.
Yes.
That's it. Yes. Use it right away, within the next day or so. Don't let anybody know you have it. And just be careful. Oh! And when you're done with everything, you can come see me.
Okay.
I'll be available? I'll probably be available.
We'll figure it out.
And I'm not going to do anything important. Probably.
Maybe.
No, it's most likely I'm not.
So what do you have to do after this?
I need to be, and he like gets a kind of a horrified. The best place for me to be will be 3 blocks down at the butcher's.
Okay.
They're having a sale on pork loin.
You should. You should. First of all, thank you for the insider information. Second of all, maybe you want to release some of that causality you got building up. So
Yeah, no, that sounds.
maybe that'll happen at the butcher shop.
Maybe. I'm gonna head there now.
Okay.
You have a great rest of your day.
You too, physics.
Look, it's good for me. Is that the butcher shop?
Because there's a sale.
Out of everywhere in this entire city, the butcher shop.
Cool. I am going to then head back inside and kind of wait for everybody to wake up.
An hour goes by. Yes.
Did we even know physics was here? Are we still in the sewers?
No, you
We
guys.
are in the lodge.
He woke up
we
a
leveled
little
up.
early to go do an
Okay,
errand.
Okay.
But we didn't do the shenanigans.
And then what my errand happened to be with physics,
Nice.
and physics happened to be outside the lodge,
Okay.
as physics do.
I thought we were still in the sewers. Doing
Nope.
sewer things.
Now, the rest of the morning goes on, and you guys wake up and you guys do your shenanigans kind of things.
Fine steed.
That all goes through, and as I mentioned before, as you're showing off and just demonstrating stuff, you get all the spell slots and abilities back, and all that stuff. So if you just hit long rest, you should be fine.
Yeah. I just have Oscar.
And then
Oscar de Moose.
I'd like to pull.
Okay, you guys are currently at the guild.
Yes.
Yeah, the adventure.
I'm gonna say, okay, so I did a thing. And he just pulls out a scroll. Who here knows what the spell sending does?
If anyone wants to roll a Arcana check.
I'll do it.
I feel like he should have some
Also
kind of.
give it a try.
Oh!
Yeah, we have a sentence.
Yeah, we have a sending.
Well, yeah, we have
stone.
sending stones, but nobody knows the spell sending. And it was like it's a very specific thing. I'm fishing.
I'm going to allow it, but I'm going to lower the DC as you guys all kind of know.
Alright, Gunmo will go too.
I'll probably lower it pretty significantly,
There,
actually.
probably
Also,
does
he
it.
can learn it eventually.
Yeah.
I
You
think-
two get actually advantages. You two.
Oh,
No,
you get
you can't learn sending. He doesn't.
Oh
know.
fuck, that's right.
You can though, and so you get a +5. You can't. You're a ranger.
Yep.
But I'm gonna lower the bar because sending stones are a thing.
22.
Yeah. Oh, everyone. This is an everyone one.
This is an everyone one. I got 7.
Oh.
I got
13.
cobwebs up there.
7.
Yeah!
Roll off to see how little you two know.
Is that what like Tanner knows? What Tanner does?
Ah! I get it, being a loser.
You're the best at being worse.
18.
Alright.
No?
Yeah. Vanya, Squark. You said you got over
I got 13.
13. Gunmar. Yeah, you all basically made the connection between like it probably does what the sending stone does, but without the other stone into anybody. You make that like just conscious logical leap. Unfortunately, no. Tanner and Darwin and I'm gonna say Beck
We're
because he's
9
not
people.
here. Just think like you don't want to presume, basically, and so you assume that like it's probably like a way of communication, but that's about it. You don't necessarily think like it's not just the same thing. It's got to be different, and so like you don't make the.
It's different.
Yeah. Sending is pretty much just the same shit with the stones, just without stone to everybody, yeah?
Yes. To anybody.
Oh, actually, does anybody know if Bray is going to be calling in? Because I just kind of left that
Never
open.
said.
Okay, then he's probably
I know of.
foggy-headed or something.
He said in a different chat.
I basically said he could because he did it before.
Steve, I'm gonna finish my food first.
Oh, yeah, we can.
He's like, I don't know, do we?
I know why you're asking me.
Currently,
You can also music.
Sparky's going to
I
quite
don't have
flippantly.
ambient music, though.
You think I have it stored on my phone?
There you go.
Sparky's just kind of flippantly like swing around a little bit.
Yeah, Bray.
Yeah, Bray is in chat.
Ah, there we go.
Oops.
Should I put Bray in this or?
No, that I know for a fact that doesn't work well because it does that humming when it has an open channel. But no, if you just put them on the table.
Right.
Hello, Bray, do you exist?
Ray!
Oh,
Hey?
it's very
Ray?
quiet.
Hey?
Hello.
Hello?
Hi.
Quick recap. Since we didn't know you were in Disc, Sparky got up early in the morning the night we had our little powwow with our new powers, and had a clandestine meeting with Physics right outside the lodge, and got something from it. And that's where we're at. Sparky's just about to reveal it. He asked everyone what sending was, and some people didn't know. So Sparky's just going to kind of...
Turn up Bray. Bray is
I
very loud.
usually do.
Mhm.
Bray?
Hello,
Better.
can words be heard?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is much better. So you guys see Sparky kind of flippantly going around the scroll. And he goes, yes, that is basically what sending does. There is one thing. I can only cast sending to people bearing that in mind. And he turns to Gunmar and says, this is Ethereum scroll of sending. I need one thing.
Go ahead, because I know what you're thinking. Gunmar is going to need some, contemplation.
I don't know. If you want, you could just say like you are Gunmar. You can just make that leap.
I don't know
And
whether to or not
he's
to.
deciding with a dice roll.
You know what?
I know it just kind of looks at what it. And Gunmar just kind of goes up in here, and he picks you up in a hug, and starts to cheer up. Thank you, thank you, Sparky.
Couldn't not do it.
And I take it out. Oh god, this might either be really happy or really fucking sad.
Now it is only 25 words. I suggest you take a minute. We have until the end of the day. Physics said we have to use it. That was one of the caveats.
I would start writing them down. Trust
Yeah,
me,
we write
man.
them down.
Basically, I did this at the beginning, so while we were shopping and preparing and getting to the thing, you could write down and send
all
you
money.
Guys have
Shopping day? Is that the one?
actually, you guys were gonna go see.
No, yeah, dog. What the fuck?
We were going to go down to the guard
Cobalt.
thing so I can get my fucking plate
Oh,
armor
shit,
and start
that too.
getting that
Yeah, you need
shit
armor.
processed to where I can wear it and have it smoldering.
Oh,
We'll probably have to do the smoldering after we deal with the king. Doesn't that take time?
takes about a day.
Yeah, about 1 day left.
Yeah, you can.
It's a little hard for me to understand some people.
Oh, gee, is it the one that's talking quietly in a weird voice?
Whoever was
I
just talking.
I had a hard time understanding little Alex was talking as Gunmar, and he's not exactly a preserved person.
We have turned the microphone around.
Can you hear me now, Bray?
You're about the same as you were before.
Fuck. How about now?
You don't yell.
Just yell.
No, we won't be
Ray,
right
do you have gauge turned down?
Can you,
You are now as loud as I could make you.
Hello, Bray.
Hi, is this better?
Chicken strips.
Yes, this is better.
Cool.
How's that?
I heard the word test.
can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
That was a pretty good.
Yes, but you also sit next to Gage.
The phone is in the middle of the table.
Anyway, this is the best we're gonna get.
This is the good we're going to get.
But yeah, that was just
Alright.
Anyway, we are off to grab your armor from the shield and then.
Yeah. Okay. You head over to the King's Shield House. It is a bustling with activity. As you walk in, it looks like things have just started to calm down. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning. There are still a lot of guards about. A number of them are like in the waiting room, just kind of leaning up against walls and sleeping. Many of them in their armor still, and stuff like that. It looked to be a busy night of booking, charging, putting people in cells and stuff like that. They took down the largest, with your help, largest group of quote-unquote criminals in the city. So it's a lot of weary people right now. As you go up to the front desk, it's only manned by one guy, who you've met before and we remember from yesterday.
Oh, sweet.
And doesn't look like he has left the station.
Oh.
He goes, "Hi, can I help you?"
We were promised. Big bitch.
I'm writing down
Oh,
important
sorry.
shit.
I'd already.
He's doing stuff.
I'm sorry. We're here. We were promised a suit of armor from the.
Is it your armor that got lost, or is it?
No, it was the armor of
George?
George
Pascal.
Pascal.
Pascal was the other dude.
Pascal Hoffman.
Oh, I think I have a note about that somewhere. And he starts lumbering through like a messwork of papers, many of them like off notes that have been pinned to other ones and stuff. And just
You know, you guys should consult with Zook for an organization system. Got that shop pretty well organized.
oh, he doesn't. What?
He knows where everything's at.
He's one guy. That's no. Suki's not organized. What? What are you talking about?
Are you okay?
Get some help.
His wife knows where everything's at.
And he pulls up like what looks like to be the equivalent of a medieval post-it note, like just a little scrap of paper. And it's like, oh yeah, okay. Pascal Hoffman, plate armor.
They stuck it to the desk with ink. They just put a dab of ink and just stuck it there.
And he's reading it, and it's basically a note from one of the sergeants you met, basically saying that yes, when they are done with the armor, they could relinquish it to guys. Okay, yeah, the armor seems to be normal plate. No national issues, nothing that we could detect or anything like that, and not vital for the furthering of our investigation.
And symbols or engraving.
Oh yeah, but not necessarily for the cults or anything like that. They have to do with war bands up north and other things like that.
You might need to think about getting that changed before.
Well, if you go into the alliances, probably, but other than that, it should be fine. Plus, easy enough to remark. A lot of them are superficial, and some of them are engraved. It was like a good piece of armor. Anyway, the quartermaster can tell you more. Go down the right hallway. It's like all the way at the end of the hall. There's a requisition room. It just kind of goes up there. Guy behind the fence, like wire fence, right, left hand. Yep. You guys walk down the hallway. You go down the. You've never been down. This is actually the left hallway. You've always gone to the right one. Because from his view, it was the right one. Anyway, this looks to be much more offices. But like for officers and living quarters and people that are on duty, looks like a shift might last more than about a day. And so this has sleeping quarters. At the end of the hallway, yeah, you do see there's a counter. And there's wire mesh all the way down, except for a small little rectangle hole, and there's a kind of portly, whiskey beard gentleman there who is wearing basically the unarmored version of a guard's uniform. Can I help you?
We're here to get some armor that used to belong to Pascal Hoffman. We were told it released into our
Do
custody.
you have a requisition form?
I'm assuming the very tired man at the front desk was supposed to.
Possibly. Do you have any proof that the armor is yours or belongs to you?
No, it belonged to Pascal Hoffman. I talked to one of the lieutenants. It was a sergeant and a lieutenant that I talked to about it.
It was both. There was a sergeant and a lieutenant.
We talked both a sergeant and a lieutenant in the aftermath of the campus crew.
Right, do you have their names?
Insert names here.
You never got their names.
Not on their
I was
armor
gonna
anywhere.
say, I don't have their names.
No memory check.
Nope.
Yeah.
This was battle armor, so it's kind of, it's the stuff that they put on. It's like a SWAT team kind of thing.
Listen, man, we really need that armor. We're about to go deal with the rest of the Cantus crew. North promised the armor. We've been working quite heavily close to Hastings. We've been doing pretty much all this for free. I don't think we've collected any of the bounties we've earned. We just need the armor.
Wait a second, there were bounties?
Yep.
Yep. Who told that?
Yep.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion roll.
I mean, I'm sure Hastings has kept track for us. He's like a nice enough halfling.
Break into the police.
Break
steal the
people
evidence.
out to turn them in.
Break one person out. The rest are dead. aren't they?
That is not my phone. Sorry, I picked you up, Bri. Right? Shit, I was gonna take it back today.
Oh, you mean Spark.
So that's the 27.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Oh.
No, I knew it was. I rolled a 19.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I rolled a 19
Yeah, I saw you
and a
roll
1.
19. You threw your roll up, Ryan.
Am
Yeah!
I nearby?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
all
no,
there.
what, you're all together.
This room smaller than you.
Yeah.
Yeah, at this side of the counter.
Unless you did.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you made an effort to not be within 30 feet of us.
Yeah, 27. Yeah. He goes like, he starts like piecing together like, oh, it's you guys. Can I see your guild seals real quick?
Moose!
Thank you.
Is that all we have to do next time?
No, I also need to know your announcements. If you have a requisition form and stuff like that, that will help as
I'll
well.
make sure to actually do one next time.
Anyway, he takes a bundle from underneath the table. It's wrapped in paper cloth and twine. Like, this is the armor of Pascal Hoffman. He shoved that over.
Crap.
Roll.
Goes. That hasn't been cleaned. Just letting you know.
Oh,
Does the Lodge do armor cleaning services?
Who?
The Lodge.
probably not.
Oh,
Probably
yeah,
not
they'll
as
clean your
quickly
armor.
as we need it
Oh.
to be.
Oh, yeah.
I also need it resized. This isn't my son.
But, you guys said you were the, Pack Magica?
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
I had that for you.
Oh, ooh.
And he, starts walking in the back and he,
Oh, shit, is this our bounty?
you guys hear the sound of a safe being opened.
Oh my god, it's a bounty.
And
I
as
learned
he
about
walks
this
back,
bounty 5 minutes ago.
Me talking about the bounty reminded him, oh shit, we have back pay for these fuckers.
It's another sticky note.
I owe you.
Pay them, or they'll come back. Yeah.
it takes him a couple minutes. He seems to be gathering stuff, but you do hear the sound of coins clinking in bags. And as he walks back over, he slides, let's see, 1, 2, 3, there's you 4 pieces of paper. They look like really standard documents, but he basically goes like, this is a receipt for successful completion of bounties. You have one for Theory Becker, Lucien Tudor, George Kaiser, and Pascal Hoffman. They have been recognized and slotted into upper management of the... He like puts the paper around. Cantus Crew. Pre-signed there with your signature as party leader, as well as your team name, date, and initial here. Each one is worth 750 gold.
Woo!
Was that just the people?
Oh,
the
wait,
raid we did,
hold on.
or was
I
that
heard
also that
750
one-
gold
the one
for
we did
each.
way back
Yeah.
when. In the sewer.
Yes, that includes the guy in the
super
super.
party fund. How convenient.
I just didn't remember his name.
Well, Sparky's
Oh,
gotta sign
George.
them so that they're
George.
valid.
Yeah. Kaiser.
Gunbar would like adamantine. I'm kidding, no.
You just got our
That's I know
As you
my
sign the
adamantine.
paperwork, he slides over a bag of 750 gold, bag of 750, bag of 750, and a bag of 750. 3,000 gold.
Ching punk.
What's that? Yes. Big nest egg for the party fund.
Yeah.
I believe there's a thing called party funds, yeah?
Yes, actually, I've been meaning to talk about that.
Yeah.
There's a couple ways I hear people do it.
One person gets the party funds.
Oh yeah, there's that. But like a lot of times, like when people get a big payload, they split that. Half goes to party funds, half it personal.
Good. What's wrong, Beck?
I like half party. Maybe a little more towards party.
Listen, man, I'm not good with percentages.
Neither am I.
Cool.
I think Bonnie is the smartest one here.
You would have gotten training in arithmetic and other things like that if you want to take over party funds.
We're tied anyway.
It only matters if
Oh,
you paid
okay.
attention.
Pay
I should
attention.
not have money. Will send that money out.
I was very devout to my training, bitch.
Oh,
He just wanted a
Minus
different
the bitch.
job.
Bitch is actually a colloquial term from his village, meaning he who shovels shit.
He double shit.
Alright.
Like I
Shit
changed
shovel.
female dog to the guy who's double shit.
Is that what we want to do?
I mean, everybody else is okay with that.
Gage, if you want to start doing math.
I have a calculator around if you want that.
Gage, do you want to keep track of the money?
Not really.
Okay.
Okay.
Does anyone particularly want to?
If I keep track of the money, it's getting split 50-50.
That's
Party
okay.
funds personal.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
One of the
Fine.
only things I learned.
And honestly, I'll probably be pretty loose with the cash if you guys raise them.
Who's the one that had third bag of holding? I know we have one.
I have one.
Is it you?
Yeah.
You too?
We've
Yeah,
done
but we have a line of bags.
But yeah, so
We
3
brought
times
out all
7.
the ones we found. I know that.
Yeah, you did.
Because we found
I think
3
you have
and we
4
brought
in
all 3.
total.
Yeah.
Because there was 3 available.
214 gold.
And
And
for simplicity's
two
sake,
sevenths.
yeah, you can round up to the nearest silver.
214 gold and then
Uh,
Is Sadie
3
doing all the
silver.
math?
Yeah. 214 gold, 3 silver.
Yep, that's right.
3 silver?
I do that because it's easier.
Yeah.
And make sure you keep the party funds someplace easily accessible.
So Sparky, you did the math, but are you holding the coin for the party fund
I
on
think
you?
Sparky is.
Okay. 214 gold.
One,
and
your
white silver.
character cannot be trusted with money, not commit because you.
So 214 gold and how much silver?
3.
That's what we all get split.
I got a long.
And
Yep, and then there's
1,500
100
into the party.
1,500. Wow.
114, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna make sure before.
Now check out how that was, but I think that to be a
So
good temperature.
unused to having to find my characters on like the computer website for D&D Beyond. 214 and 5?
3.
3.
3 silver.
Thank you. Yep, added.
Money!
Thank you.
No.
Oh! Because I finally fixed my printer, but actually what the like impaled.
Okay.
It's still like,
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
wow.
Where's Richmond?
Isn't that like
16.
No,
I'll go with
15.
16.
It's 15.
They are? Yeah.
What's that nondescript dot in the desert?
Ronnie's from near
It's a
9.
volcano. Oh, that's your place?
Oh,
Isn't that you also? I thought you were together.
he's from a different part of the desert.
Same desert, but like it's a big area.
Okay, so
It's
which
a really
ones,
big desert.
which ones are Rydheim and Hinterfell?
They're not on the map.
Aw, fuck you.
Too small. Those are major cities.
I know.
Or ha!
But which way along the road, south or north?
North.
Ha! I love ha.
Oh.
ha or classic?
But yeah, I fixed my printer, so I now have color photos again.
Half the round V stuff.
Oh, you do?
It is not good, but the Emma has so much to tell her in 25 words. Just need to recap.
Sending is never a well-composed message. It's
I've
all...
heard some good ones.
Well, yeah, but...
Depends on how much you need to say.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, it is stunted, random things, and then you get to the end and I'm like, wow, I stunted that too much and I have 6 extra words.
Have you ever seen old telegrams where
Yeah.
you pay by the letter and stuff like that? They look very similar.
Now my dad texts.
Yeah.
Your dad was old.
Maybe?
Oh, yeah,
It probably has
military
more to
thing.
do with him in the army. It's also the reason he sits front-facing all exec restaurant. He'll sit.
But yeah, you guys have now retrieved your bounties for 3 of the 5 known leaders of the Cantus group.
That was 4.
4 of the 5 known leaders of the Cantus group.
Did Pascal die? How he got away?
Pascal got
Pascal
his head
Hoffman?
chopped off.
Yeah, his head chopped off and then his spirit floated.
Oh, the spirit floater. That's what I'm
That was the
thinking
spirit we almost killed.
of. Yes. We go close.
Oh, cool.
Anyway, by the way, if you want to know, I'm Quaker. I run the quartermaster here at the Shields. If you need anything, you can get a requisition form, and I can usually get you armor, ammo, and stuff like that. But if you guild members, we cost the same, and we're a little bit more convenient, so I probably won't see you again. But if you need bounties, if you need to collect for bounties, you come here.
Gotcha.
Now you're lucky that these are kind of fast-tracked. Normally it takes a day or 2 for a bounty to be recognized. But with Commandant Hastings' permission, as well as her direct involvement of this, a lot of this got fast-tracked.
Which we appreciate. We've got other pressing things to do immediately after. But we will leave you to it. Probably.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
And you guys leave the King Shields guardhouse?
Shield house?
Yeah, it is the Shield House. I always forget that. Do you guys want to do anything now?
We really quickly, I don't want to roleplay it or anything. Go to Morden's hand, start your armor job.
I'll have to talk to Tanner. Tanner, you're sending packages and items.
Yeah.
Do you know of subway and money across the country? Is that safe with you?
With me?
Not with you specifically, but with other people
I
that
was
work
gonna say,
with
I'm
you.
not going there right now, but... Yeah, that's a thing you can do.
Is there someone I can hire in this?
Probably, yeah.
Would that be?
At the place.
The King's Hall.
Yeah, you do it from
The
King's Hall.
place we were just at?
No.
That was the Shield House.
Yes.
That's
where
where the police are. You need
Yeah.
to go to City Hall.
No, I totally forgot about this. I meant to send you like a bunch of stuff. Not even a bunch of stuff, just a list. But yeah, basically,
But it's pretty pricey for individuals.
it is. But you're
Yeah.
adventurers now,
That's true.
and this money is actually actually fully accessible to you. You know, it takes about 100 gold to send a package anywhere in the Empire.
Got it.
That package will be insured and looked after by everyone as part of the King's Carrier Service. It's really expensive. It's 100 gold, and it's usually only done by people
And
of the upper echelon. Yeah, the government gets it free. If
Yeah.
your private citizen wants to do it, it's 100 gold. It's a lot of money. You go adventurers now.
We're rolling in it.
We make a lot of money. Yeah.
100 gold is something that you can drop on this pretty easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as like through your whole career, it was something stupidly expensive.
Yeah.
That like, if a family would do it, they would pool their resources to send something
It would
once.
be very important.
Yeah. But
I like to imagine every time Tanner got one of those, like, fuck, I want this responsibility. Damn it. What
Yeah,
I
about
like.
100 gold over at the rep house.
It isn't.
Go.
Well, thank you.
international shipping's a fucking wild show. Good fucking luck. Go find a port and a ship.
Better to just go to talk to the Russian.
You're an adventurer. We can just go.
I mean, yeah.
God, do you know how easy it would be for get on a fucking boat somewhere?
Send it
Sparky
via.
doesn't want to get on a boat.
No,
Originally.
Sparky does not.
If we're going to another city, we could be like, yo, do you have any packages they need sent to Blaine? We're going over there.
We'll only charge you 75 gold.
Pretty sure that's illegal.
It should be. It probably is.
Yes, the courier service is protected. But at the same time, I bet it happens all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah.
100 gold's a lot. And sometimes you need to send a vase like 3 cities down.
It's one of those things that definitely happens. As long as you don't get caught and you're not making a business out of it.
Yeah, you're just giving it to somebody and, some change for, meals on the way.
But what if we used Animal Messenger and taped a coin to the bug? And just sent a bug every day.
Like one single gold coin. There's a
Yeah.
trail of bugs going between city and city. I feel like
day
some people
apart.
would start attacking the bugs. Go like, yo, free money.
They'll fly higher.
This is a very strange migratory pattern these beetles have.
They all have coins attached to them.
Create some sort of legend, like, oh, the great money beetle flood of '86.
They are like gold, so.
53, excuse you.
Sorry.
That reminds me, I'm also making a timeline, and I don't have a lot of events on it right now. I think like 7.
I'm not having a timeline.
That's
Great
good.
beetle flood.
But yeah, no, if you guys have events and stuff like that, oh, for the calendar as well, you guys have birthdays and stuff like that, that you want to put on there, or major anniversaries, if you guys have, like, I want this god to have a special day, and it's this theme, and it's in this season. Tell me about it.
A couple of personal ones for Sparky. July 8th birthday.
I have that one down. It's the
2 days
only one I have
later, July 10th, the day left for left here.
down. You want to look for a
That doesn't
year?
make that doesn't make any sense. 2 days before. No?
Still doesn't make sense.
Wow, how did that ever make sense in my head? Like, I've been going with that as my headcanon for a while. Yeah, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Never mind. Fuck it, that'll just be nebulous for now.
Sounds good.
March 10th.
Oh, send me this shit. I will not remember.
Yeah.
Good, because I won't either.
Why we have a calendar.
Yeah.
Or will have it.
And
By the
two
way,
note-takers.
I don't
Have
think
audio.
I'm going to change the
that's true.
weekdays names. I changed them and I've been
Well,
trying
you
to
could-
follow,
Yeah.
and it's not turning out well. I think I'm just gonna have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I've changed months and stuff like that, but like the weekdays got confusing to me. It is 7. It is 12 months of 30 days. So like no leap days or anything like that. Simplistic, but
So it is Tuesday.
Today is Thursday.
It's actually
Thursday.
Saturday.
I will change the calendar because I can change the offset to fix whatever day we currently are on. I just
Or
have
to
to
me,
do it.
it's Thursday.
We'll keep it as that because I think I'm 2 days off then. Because when I was making it 30 days, like 12, 30 days, it just kept fucking shifting and like changing all the time. It was a whole thing.
But yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of calling July Jewel-I, so Gelwely. So it still has the pronunciation of July.
Nice. But yeah. Do you want to do that with the mail now or
I can do it
later? Or, okay.
Mhm.
How much for the resize?
Oh, that's 5 gold.
Nope. Come to the party funds.
No. Get my armor.
Yeah, but that's a party fund sort of.
Okay.
Resizing is when you already have the armor. The armor itself is worth about 1,500 gold. If you would try to sell it, you would get half that price. Resizing, though, is a really simple process, unless you're trying to go up a size category. So, a halfling to you. would be like functional. You got to pay for a new suit. This is a medium to medium. It's a resizing.
How much was it again to make that?
Excellent question. I believe it was like
6
40
gold.
gold or something like that. It was around the 40 to 60 gold point.
Let's just say 50.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
I give him 50 gold for
He,
the property.
he will like keep it then. If you
Yeah.
want to wear this in the next couple of days, like as to have the plate, because he can do the resizing in a day. The smoldering enchantment takes about a day and a half. So it would be the
When
rest
are
of
we going
today.
to,
Tomorrow.
I thought it was soon.
We have just enough time to get it reset. It's fine. They're shadow people anyway. It'll look like you have shadows.
As you're getting attacked by them.
Yeah,
not just billowing cloak.
that's the idea.
Going through the plates.
Just the recessing them.
Thank you. May Moradin's hand guide your path.
Ishmael's hand, got yours.
Aye. He's a paladin. If you guys didn't know that.
What? We know he's at least a worshiper.
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess this never came out. He's a low-level paladin.
Oh shit! Nice.
Like,
level.
like 1.
18.
He's a devout worshiper of Moradin's hands. It's one of the reasons you guys actually come here or work directed here. He does not take profit.
Huh.
He does work on cost and commission.
Oh, shit.
It's a form of worship. But he doesn't do it for everybody. It's how you mitigate this kind of... But they're relatively common. You would have maybe not been too deep about them around the Empire, but you would have known of them. Actually, now that I think about it, you wouldn't. You would have... Yeah, like 3 of you would have like recognized that. Like, yeah, sometimes up Smith will have a sign of Moradin. It'll now some of them are pure, means they only do Moradin's work, which is for cost, for the benefit of adventurers' safety and stuff like that. Some of them are worshippers, but they run a business.
Yeah.
And so if you qualify, you can take Moradin's hand, which is basically work for a cost. So he's a pure.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, did not know that. Thank you for your time. We'll be back tomorrow.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Okay. Down to the sewers.
Yeah, which is, you can take one of the entrances you know, or now that you have a map, you can just pick the closest one.
I'm just gonna pick closest one out of view.
Out of here?
Out of view.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be easy to cross the river. At which point the closest one is... Oh, shit! That's the one you jammed. There's another one, like, a couple blocks away. It doesn't look to be as used as often. And you have to, like... You have to look at the map for the first maybe couple minutes as you get back into the path that you've already previously tracked.
Yeah.
But it's easy enough. You have a map, you're proficient at this. If you like to roll, you can, but you ought to succeed.
Cool. It was an 8.
Actually, probably would have been enough. As you are proficient in this, and your proficiency is at least 2. So yeah, you guys make it. You guys go from the bottom of the Cantus Ward all the way north to the bottom of the Grove Circle. You do get a sense of scale now, having seen the daylight and this. The Grove Circle is bigger than this colony in diameter by about circles. It's half the diameter. It's half, but that's not half the size by volume. It's half the diameter.
Gotcha.
I'm good at geometry.
That's okay.
It's smaller. It's not the whole
Yes.
square. That's.
Yeah.
I got
It's
that.
not a square. It's a circle.
It'd make it about a quarter.
All these squares make a circle. Damn it!
Not good with volume shit. Anyway, you go down the hallways and they get bigger and wider as they usually do. You pass the final right turn and you are presented within 20 feet the crafting center of this kobold village. You see, immediately people are noticing you, but like looking at you, like they first freeze in sight. They get like big eyes and like, oh.
Sparky's, to mitigate that, Sparky's gonna go and like do what Nuke did for us and kind of step in and being like, "We're back."
You immediately get all the attention as announcements are listened by the whole. And I go, who's back? You hear Draconic from like the back, who can't really see.
The big people, don't be scared.
Wait, which big people?
I just beckon him in.
Really wacky.
And you hear just a couple of things like
Like, I
the
tried
big
to
people.
do
Like,
it.
what do you mean the big people? Like, we
The
don't know.
big people.
It's like, we don't know what
The
big
only
people.
big people
you
you had
don't
is
know
fucking six
any
months.
big people, and they start arguing, and it goes. To,
The big people, half of which are not big.
Do we
Oh,
see
fuck,
a blue kobold with rings?
give me a perception check. This is the main work area that's always active. This place has no less than like 200 kobolds at any given time.
That's 2 ones. I say you get to reroll it twice.
13 perception.
11.
You do see how busy it is. There's like roughly 200. You know for a fact that in the crafting areas and stuff like that, which are kind of the main holding areas, roughly 55%, 50 to 55% of all kobolds in a colony are gathered at any given time. It's the hub of the colony, and this is the hub of this particular one. Once again, the pipe work for the fountain can be seen as a main pillar in the center of it, and there's concentric circles of really small roadways that are kobold size that go around to different huts and symbols, stuff like that, of people making bricks, pipe fittings, tools. Some are making crafts and jewelry, and other people are making household goods, and some people are just making kind of everyday objects. And the closer you get to the center, you find more people making food, as well as a bunch of off tunnels, most of which go to sleeping quarters, but others go to, you know for a fact that the west side should have a nursery outside. The north side is not guaranteed, but you know for a fact that's where the doors to Eric's office is.
I mean, can I look for Nuke as well?
Oh sure, give me a perception check.
He's gonna stand out. Oh shit, that's way better though. 8.
Oh yeah, you find Nuke.
Oh shit.
Nuke, where would he be? Okay, he would be in what's known as the resting area, or it's the hospital. It's considered a craft, so it's on the outer circle. And it's close to the, you notice it's as close as can be without blocking the doorway to, Zurich. Context, you now get the leap that, like, this makes a lot of sense. He is a healer. They put them near him, and he is the healer of this tribe. So Nuke is in a bed, resting. He doesn't have his armor on. He is functionally just has his scales out. Yeah, he's kind of just sitting there, kind of looking off into the distance a little.
Hi Nuke.
Hi.
Ramulok.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. Zoe killed me up last night, so you see he has not a scratch on him. I'm like physically okay. They've undergrounded me for the time, so I won't be going topside for a while. Just until I kind of get back on my feet.
Good to see you're alright. Actually, just on our way to Tosh.
Zurich.
Oh, it's tough to cheat.
Alright, I think he wants to kind of share with you some stuff, so I think that's a smart idea. So, but, well, I'm sorry. You know, I told them that they were coming and you were coming, and I just, you know, I wasn't expecting them to do that kind of stuff. I'm really sorry.
It's always jarring when the people that we trust betray.
You were only doing what you probably wish that more people in the world happen to not be the best at this time. But your intention, there's no hard feelings from this part.
Okay. Well, you have a good time meeting with Zurich.
We will. And when we're done, would you want to get some some back thumb?
That sounds good.
Well, give me a bit then.
Mm-hmm.
Take care.
As you approach the door, there is looks to be one runner. They seem to, like, whenever they have downtime and they're not topside, they're here. And he looks at you. You haven't seen this one before. You need to go see the chief.
Yes. Last time we spoke, he...
Understandable. Let me go see if he's ready. And he goes, but a moment passes, and he opens the door again and goes, he's ready to see you.
Cool.
As you enter, it still looks like, as you left it, there is a rug on the ground, many pillows for you guys to all sit down in a circle in. You can see his bed in the corner, a desk, with a small, very dim lamp. While you have dark vision, it is nice and easier in the eyes to be in light. You get color.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, yeah, like the whole place is in dim. Even if you don't have dark vision, you can see and stuff like that.
Chief Zurich,
That does make it easier to.
my apologies for being gone for a day.
It's okay.
Events were stressful.
Uh,
I heard your escapades with the Canthus crew were successful.
Unfortunately, not as that. Yes.
not always successes.
Yes. Not all the deal. I'm going to keep to my promise and not Nuke's involvement. If Nuke has already told me. And then we're going to mention. And once the battle, actually, two of them still
Undead state.
Unfortunate and mystical.
we know likely where they are to access them. So that is basically the Hastings has been informed of everything as much as well.
This is good. I will go speak to them as soon as I can. Well, it's not as simple as that, unfortunately. Thank you for taking care of this Cantus crew issue. They were worrying us, but it is not the only trouble that plagues my tribe at this moment. I will describe to you what has been going on a political sense in my tribe now, but I want to let you know that I have no ill will to my counterpart. I respect him and wish him no harm. I understand to a point where he's coming from, even if we are diametrically opposed.
Oh, God damn it. Back a bitch.
As you know, I am an Ithaquant. I am a divine chosen. I was chosen by Bahamut and gifted powers. Like many of his chosen, I heal my fellows. I stay with my tribe for my life. I do not travel. We rarely lead. I came about this due to an incident some 70 plus years ago. We had to leave our previous hole up on the mountainside. Due to natural forces, a rock slide.
How long ago?
About 70 years.
I've been so absorbed I haven't been running.
Oh, good. I can tell that story if you would like. In fact, I have many stories to tell you. You may choose to listen to what you will. I understand that you come from a tribe that has been relatively segregated for quite some time from the politics of our kind.
I frankly didn't even know.
It is unknown. I think in the smaller tribes, the remnants of the era are painful enough that I don't think that all the stories got passed down. How much do you know of the Dragon Calling era?
Would Dunmar know a little bit?
Anyone who is proficient in history.
Damn it.
Got a smart birdie.
Oh, fuck yeah!
Good Darwin.
Oh, I am!
Hey!
Good
the fuck?
birdie.
History buddy!
Woo! I'm gonna go
Yo.
study buddies too.
You can both roll.
Yeah.
Ray, are you alive?
No.
More importantly, are you proficient in history?
Funny as hell if he is.
That'd be really funny.
Ah, yes, I, this lone protector of a goblin tribe, know exactly about this dragon-specific thing.
I
21,
heard
by
a
the way.
yes from the ether.
Probable?
You would have been. Anyway, you two. What we rolls?
21.
11.
You don't know.
Makes sense, I'm a bug boy. Dragons aren't my...
If it was the beetle culling, you'd know all about it.
Absolutely. Don't even get me started on the beetle culling.
Are you
Sorry, at some
It
point.
came right after the beetle flood.
Are you
Sorry,
proficient in
culling?
history?
Culling.
Cool, I heard calling.
Yep.
No, it's
Cool,
culling.
cool.
As in, we murdered a lot of them.
Yeah.
Are you proficient in history?
I think there's a delay.
Ray,
Ray, are you proficient?
I'm sorry, I did not understand that as a question directed towards me.
are you proficient in history?
Gage, what was that?
Are you proficient in history, Bray?
Checking. I am not.
Cool, fuck.
But 21. You actually do know a little bit about the Dragon Calling era. For one thing, it happened in the 1100s.
That was a while ago.
You said you got a 21?
Yes.
Then you actually know...
Everything.
No, but you do know a lot.
Like the key points.
Yeah,
Cliff notes.
yeah. I'm gonna literally give you the cliff notes here. You know for a fact that, it had to do with dragons subjugating towns and villages.
That's right.
They began to start cults. This caused an imbalance and concern for the metallic dragons that followed Bahamut. And with his urging, they met with the emperor at the time. And yeah,
So it was the chromatic dragons who were starting cults and over.
Actually, it's
Or was it
mostly chromatic,
Okay.
but it wasn't exclusive.
Okay.
Um,
The way you phrased that, I just wanted to clarify.
no, it's fine because this will actually change. It's an important point. Mostly it was chromatics, but there were a few that, thinking for the goodness of others and to protect them, I should take over this area and lead them. And then over time they started worshipping that dragon. These dragon cults were a concern to basically the oldest metallic dragons. They went to the emperor at the time and told them, because not all of these cults were known, many were secretive, and some of them were much bigger than even the kingdom realized. Basically, they told them about the cults, and the king put together a party, including himself, and over about a year, ridded all of these cults. Oh, sorry, not a year, a decade. Ridded all the cults.
Name of the emperor?
Oh, okay.
Mead the second.
21. Okay, you do know the name. Richloft Eldritch. So Richloft.
Elder.
Yeah. Oh, you would know this because it's kind of common knowledge. The name of the emperor, the last name, has never changed. It is always Eldritch.
Fair.
That is mostly for my benefit.
Is it the same or does whoever take the throne?
It is.
Yes.
It's always the same family, though succession has been unique sometimes. Like, even the first succession wasn't to the firstborn, and the second succession was to the first female. There have been gay kings, there have been lesbian kings, there have been many things like that. Emperors, sorry. And specifically, there are always emperors. I always, like, there's a lot of king ideology, like King's Arms, King Guards, and stuff like that. The emperor is the emperor. But yeah, there's always been a succession, and they do carry the name Eldritch, but the name is not the title. There are people named Eldritch that are not the emperor.
Yeah.
So yeah, with the 21, you do know that. Let's see, what else? That is not the Dragon Calling. That's the big thing you know. That's what led to the Dragon Calling. So with all of those dragon cults dealt with, the dragons that were leading those cults, most of the strongest chromatic dragons each had one. And they were killed. Created a power vacuum. This is the nuance you know of basically getting above a 15. That's not the Dragon Calling. What's after it is the calling. Power vacuum that was caused by this caused tremendous amounts of fighting of the chromatic dragons. They did so indiscriminately. It's like whole towns would be destroyed in the fights that these chromatic dragons.
We're talking like DC superhero, Marvel superhero, Hulk based on the city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of these dragons went to these newly liberated cities because the footings of the cults were there. Tried to take them over. Multiple dragons would show up. They would fight. It could destroy whole settlements. Let's see. Some of that. Yep. Pledging. Yep. I'm trying to remember because you got a 21, but you didn't get 25.
Got a 25. That's
Yep.
3.
Okay, there's a bit of information here you don't know. Yep, here's the power vacuum. Oh, I love the way I put this. During this time, villagers were often left decimated, engulfed in flames, encased in feet of ice, melted in acid, or the populace and land poisoned for years. Which one? Then there was a decree in 1105. I'm going to give that to you. This decree was by Richloft Eldritch that all dragons and their followers would be killed on sight on Emperor and in Empire lands.
We legally killed those black dragons.
Give me a second. Yes, you did because they
As
were
of
like.
1105.
I mean, you did because they were criminals. And
By ancient decree, we killed those black
They just
dragons.
never took off the law.
Tell them what kind of monk you are, sir.
So that decree is what starts the Dragon Calling era. So you know the nuance of the 21. You know the nuance. Basically, with the help of metallic dragons, they overstepped and created a power vacuum because they were worried and because of that, dragons started fighting for hierarchy. That's what caused the issue. Because before the dragon attacks were fairly, I mean, they happened, but they were rare. Most of the time, dragons don't care about towns.
Yeah.
And if they do, they see them as
Taking over.
a resource.
This is my town now.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to destroy a town, then you can't rob the
until
town.
they started fighting each other in the town.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, this town gives me passive wealth.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sleep in my cave.
And just,
The
it's
dragons
like
were all in real estate.
real estate.
All about location.
Yeah. The dragon population in the Empire plummeted. And by the time the decree was rescinded in 1217 by his grandson, unnamed by the way, I just haven't gotten there yet. He's not a notable emperor.
You said 12.
17. 112 years. Many scholars believe chromatic dragon species had been officially extinct within the borders of the Empire for about a decade. A 21... Okay, you would know this, but maybe not the full context behind it. During the calling, metallic dragons left the Empire.
Yeah, I would've.
If they do reside within the borders of the Empire, they do so in great secrecy and seclusion. Let's see, you wouldn't know about that. Okay. That's all the high level stuff. Which you got because you got a 21. The low level stuff is the stuff that involves the kobolds. You would know that the kobolds lived in mountainous regions on the world for millennia, though sadly they have spent much of the time subservient to dragon overlords. Their masters were chromatic and metallic alike, while different in style and means, were both agreed upon in their superiority to the kobold race. The kobolds lived to serve dragons, as far as they were concerned.
Yeah.
After the callings, many kobolds were hunted down as co-conspirators to dragons. This led to the remaining kobolds hiding underground and found in various colonies across the most remote parts of the Empire, in order to escape the persecution they faced at the hands of the King's Arms and parties of adventurers alike. The reason for this is because kobolds were believed to attract dragons. And this is basically a small flaw, but logical leap in logic by the populace.
Causation.
Yeah. When you saw dragons, you saw kobolds, or if you saw kobolds, you saw them with dragons. You didn't always see dragons with kobolds, but you always saw kobolds with a dragon. And so they were considered a preventative measure. You kill the kobolds, they don't attract the dragons.
I did find dragons in the sewers, though.
Fuck with the kobolds.
Sparky. And you attracted a dragon.
Also been 600 years.
Yes, fucking is! And a fucking dragon bird!
Gosh dang it!
Guys, I hate to tell you this, the rest of you are going to turn into dragons. I mean, cool.
I just used to
I'm sure-
always wanted.
I'm sure one day I could. Are they beasts?
No.
No,
No,
dragons.
but one day you still can.
Yeah.
The power of full casters.
Oh, okay. This whole thing associated. The stories of the dragon calling to the kobolds are filled with fear and desperation. Treated as an afterthought during the whole era and as lowly as pests, they were exterminated with vigor whenever found, as their presence was thought to bring out dragons. The common people of the Empire did not differentiate.
Differentiate.
Thank you. Between the chromatic and metallic dragons during this time, and would gather the King's Arm against any dragon or kobold sightings in their area. The kobolds of this time period were much easier to kill than dragons, with the belief that if you got rid of them first, then the chances of a dragon coming to attack were mitigated, and it's no leap of logic to see how fervent the King's Arms were to eradicate them when found. This next part you wrote high enough, but you literally wouldn't know. So I'm
perfectly fine with that.
Cool. As the kobolds head away to their new homes. Oh, this is stuff that he's going to tell you. So as you mentioned, those kind of bullet points. Zurich chimes in. There's a small part about that appeared that you obviously don't know about, but it's fine. It's understandable. After the dragon callings and the large and ancient pure dragons were decimated from these lands and no longer worked the callings of the Lord Bahamut or the Lord of Tiamat, they began to seek out members of the Kobold race. This is when Ithaquants began to appear among us, those that had answered the calls. As a result of the dragon calling and the decimation of adult dragons and above, any dragons really, we started hearing the whispers of our great creators. And so that brought about the Ithaquants among our tribes. During this time, our powers are reflections of those that have chosen us. Me, I have been chosen by Bahamut. I heal those around me, secure them, but mostly meditate and contemplate what it means to be a kobold and what we can do better ourselves, as well as securing the safety and longevity of our tribes. Ithaquants like myself, of Bahamut's nature, we traditionally not leave a tribe. We are born into a tribe and we stay with a tribe. Oh, I have a glossary. Ready?
Yes.
ITHOQUANT.
Cool.
Dragon Divine Touch. It's a direct translation from Draconic. Fancy Draconic, if that means anything. So the only thing you didn't know about was the fact that Ithaquants came about as Dragon Calling. But you know quite a bit of the Dragon Calling. You don't know everything. There is some subtext you didn't know about. There's literally like sentences in here. But for the most part, you know the general gist of it. It was a time of... And you know like the big misconception, which is the first wave, where the king literally went out and killed all the dragon cults. Not the calling. Calling came after because of the graduation of that. You got the first historic hurdle.
Yeah.
The great understanding. But there is some nuance you are missing. Not a lot, but and then he shares with you the Ithaquant thing. And so that's how we came about. Oh, those who come with the aspects of Tiamat, like Yurak, they see power in the form of sorcery, of bending the magics to their will, and are often granted with wings. But we all are relatively similar in our styles. Do you have any questions about the Dragon Calling? Maybe your party that I can answer, as you seem to understand it quite well. Or even if yourself.
I'm gonna go ahead and say, because Sparky the whole part about Kobold's driving crux behind Sparky's main goal, fixing that colonization that happened.
A part of this makes sense. Part of the story that you missed, I guess. Kobolds, as far as I know from my talks with Cantus and physics, by the way, is an amazing resource of the history and knowledge of the Empire. I would highly recommend seeing him. Have questions about any time period in the Empire.
Any time period.
Any reality?
Past, present, future.
Sometimes all at the same time.
He doesn't know which one he's talking to you about.
He's like, have I given you the thing already? What thing? The thing. What thing? I don't know. The thing I'm supposed to give you. You need to tell me first, and then I know if I give it to you or not. It's like, I don't need anything from you, so we're not here then. Okay.
Until we start dealing with entire Empire-worthy stuff. And he's like, has the Empire fallen yet? No? Okay, that's good.
Good.
Excuse me, the fuck?
Good one.
Oh shit, you're bards again. Damn it.
Parts.
He is a service animal, like how people would have them.
He's got a toad.
So Toad's not doing enough to
The toad
work.
stays at the
Yeah, the
store,
toad
doesn't
is
he?
somewhere else. He's not.
Toad doesn't want to be there.
Wait, so he keeps the toad at the store?
The toad
Toad
decides
is
where.
imprisoned in the store.
Toad gets to be alive in the store. There's a whole story behind that toad.
Toad is a fiend.
Yes, you do know that. You checked it with your eyes.
Yeah.
Toad is a fiend. Where was I?
Physics?
It's actually kind of a byproduct of everything, but because kobolds were... I find no personal shame in saying this, but a standard dragon is much more powerful than a single kobold.
Yeah.
Resources it would take to kill even a small dragon dwarf the resources needed to kill one of us, especially during this time period where none of us were Ithaquants. And so the stories of the soldiers that came and eradicated our tribes and villages were passed down through, from what physics says, from father to child to son and daughter and onward, and they became more folk-tale-ish. Kind of interesting. He's shown me some children's picture books that have depictions of kobolds, and we are not depicted as really that bad. Mischievous, kind of naughty. A metaphor device to let children know how to behave and stuff like this. Don't act like a kobold. Or sometimes the kobolds would come in and wreck a house, and the child says, like, it wasn't him, it was the kobolds. It was a way of knowing if Todd was lying, you know? Like, it's kobolds who did it, kind of thing. We got apparently very popular among children in folktales, and enough so over the time period that most of members of the Empire don't think we exist. They think we're legend. It's why you see the costumes during Howl's Night. That is subject to change.
Howl's Night?
Fake
He
Halloween.
he heard you snore.
It's called
and
He knew
said,
it was
Listen here.
coming.
Called Hell's Night?
It's gonna be something. I don't know what it's gonna be yet, but it's not gonna be
But
Halloween.
there is a Halloween celebration.
There's a Halloween,
incoming.
like, yep.
Spooky Hawkins.
But that's why there are
Dark
costumes.
Harvest.
Something like that. There's gonna be
We like
probably
our
Harvest Week.
watermelons.
No watermelons. Be
It's
careful.
gonna be probably a gourd, but it may not be pumpkins. I'm thinking of...
Eggplant.
Well, that's a hard pivot. The point is that's why you could find... They thought you were a child.
Yeah.
Is why you can find kobold costumes in, like, zoos and stuff like that.
Or you got like small little baby wings.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's where you got your wings.
Yep. This is because we're not necessarily treated as anything but myth and folklore. It's been to our actually great benefit. Most people do not seek us out. We're not exactly known for granting wishes or having great wealth. At most, I think we accidentally make milk go bad, and sometimes break plates, usually in a clumsy manner.
You hear some dishes fall out in the common room. Like someone was carrying a
tray,
comical tray of dishes.
That is unrelated to anything. Yorak will probably fix those. But yeah, he tells you the story that no, kobolds are, due to time and tales and stuff like that, have entered the mythos of folklore. Kobolds are not often believed to have existed by the average Empire citizen, and if they do meet one, they're immediately going to think kid in costume. Oh, something else he tells you. I've also learned that apparently individuals dress up as us in circuses often. And they go along the crowd and pull pranks on the adults to the amusement of their kids.
Now, I had heard about kobolds and circuses, and he somehow never connected with me that it could just be
From
people.
what I understand from physics, most of them are costumes, but not all of them.
Okay.
But very rare, from what I understand. We are tribal by nature. We like being in our groups, our numbers and all that.
As like it's true.
But it's this kind of dissension into folklore has been our saving grace for 500 years. No one seeks us out. We are allowed to keep our own, survive in our caverns, stay underground, stay safe, be safe, and be...
Well, travel the surface, been safe for us on the surface now. Really considering, like...
That kobolds attract dragons is long gone at this point.
I believe so as well. I'm not worried about that.
I just think for so long our race... You have jerky in your beard.
Saving it.
I had lettuce for maybe 36 hours in my beard without noticing.
Oh, unfortunate.
Like that was on Tuesday or something, just like right.
Future salad.
I don't
It's like
know.
tomorrow.
It's just my opinion that kobolds could do a lot of good. Like, our talents are not minimal when building suit. How much?
Not a countdown.
Kobolds are such a crafty race. Like it's a shame to waste that.
See your viewpoints. We must look at kobolds as a whole. We are a race easily subjugated, pressured upon, influenced, Among our tribes here, we are greater in numbers and secure and stable. We may continue existing peacefully as long as we wish. And we go topside in meandering amounts, a few of us, but to interact, to enter that kind of society would bring about such a risk to the many members of my tribe. It is to our greatest benefit to maintain our colony, to build stability and safety in our hideaways, and contemplate among ourselves, mastering our crafts among us to better understand what it means. This safety and security is the most vital aspect. In contrast to what Urdak says, this is the true nature of where Cobalt should be.
Sorry, did you, as Alex, just imply that Urak is on my side? Out of interest, what is Urak's?
He seems to like lean back and as though, sorry, that just, it's popping up.
Yeah, no.
It's good.
You want to switch on this one?
That reminds me, we need a, oh my god, okay. Seems to lean back and kind of in a mildly exacerbated way as though he's had many conversations with this Urdak. Speaks on behalf of the philosophy of this philosophy of priority of conquest that we as a species should run topside to gather together all our colonies to build a new nation, just kobolds, take back land among the surface by force.
Yep.
Different than what you want to do, Sparky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems on brand with Tiamat.
See, the issue is, I feel like there's a middle ground. There's a way we can balance out both of those things. And he seems to be very deliberate in that delivery.
I mean, a
And
lot of, sorry.
Oh.
I was going to say a lot of the goblin tribes, and Beck, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they exist on the surface, yet they're not really part of the Empire. Same with a lot of the druids.
I word it. But no, the goblin tribes would trade and travel, still often keep to themselves, just colonies of bee and well as the needs of the tribe. But welcome members of the here in the Empire, and in fact the works that we did were.
There's your middle ground.
And in fact, there are laws in place to keep the goblins safe, are there not?
Then I might ask, why are you not with your tribe?
Everyone cringes.
Safer.
My tribe, alas, was raided by
Bandits.
Bray forgets. Did the
Bandits.
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 The dude, yeah, it was good that we the bandits that we were they part of the campus crew or were they an adjacent thing that was just?
they were Bercy crew.
They knew of the Cantus crew, they were not a part of the Cantus crew.
They were not affiliated.
Okay. They were a separate thing.
They're
It
diagonal.
was a
Dex.
yeah, no. My tribe, unfortunately, were into bandits, and I suspect that I was one of very few survivors.
These are
Myself and one other.
these are the dangers that my people would face topside. Even if acceptance is not necessarily what I'm worried about, it's safety and
Beck, if I may ask, how many different tribes of goblins do you know of that are on this? Just a rough estimate.
oh, Beck does not know this.
I
Beck,
have not discussed
You would
this,
know
so
of-
I'm not able to provide a number for this.
You would know of at least 5 that are like you, that are yellow goblins, because you would have traded, you would have traded with them, but also like, marriages, shit like that,
So 5 in the political sphere of Beck's.
of at least Bex, but you can do a rough estimate of maybe at least 10 times that minimum.
Yeah, because if they know 5 and then they know 5.
I
But
know that,
not big.
I know that there are 5 within about 50 miles of here, and this is a continent-spanning sort of. So,
A notable amount.
I will point out, Vanya from the south, and I think, and you two from the south, have never heard of yellow goblins. The first time you met them was back.
So they don't go south.
And Vanya, you,
Instead of green
Bingo.
goblins, yeah?
yes, you've heard of green goblins.
Okay,
Yellow goblins are very
Gummer was
specific.
100% ready just to smack fucking Ben.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, they're best.
But
But then he
Not
started
you,
fighting
Beck,
a fire.
Not you.
Ben started fighting a fire, and I was like, oh, okay, this one is good.
Just
So
casual
you-
racism.
Unfortunately, due
Look,
to
he
the
had bad interactions with all
due to the odd geography of the group, you basically know that at least south of the Empire borders, there's no yellow goblins. That's like all you know for certain. You know there's none in the north. So I was pointing at Tanner.
In the desert?
No, just green goblins. Yellow goblins, you know for a fact yellow goblins exist here, and they don't exist north of the
South.
border or south of the border. That is what
East
you
and
have
West, fair game.
confirmed. Yep.
Chances are they exist in the borders of the Empire. Exact numbers unknown.
Specifically the northern borders, because Vanya from the southern border has never seen one.
Mm.
And she traveled the whole southern border to get up here. You went all the way,
Scenic route.
Yeah.
but it's druid-controlled area.
Ah.
Do it.
Also, some of it was tree stride. Not tree stride, teleportation via trees.
We use all this
No,
information to
standard.
answer his question.
Do the best of your ability.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
just.
so, are honestly this is the first aware of, or any that I've for following a goblin tribe.
That's an outlier, and you can outliers of it.
And even taking out Hinterfell walked freely on the surface and has equals with population and friends. I have many friends back at that
Sorry.
place. That are not.
I think something's on fire.
That's just a
It's the
teapot.
plate.
Belmar.
Yeah.
No, it's the after lunch crabs.
Tea time.
The
And I-
people who run the city you're under already know you're here.
Mm-hmm.
And your runners know what happens. Some runners were caught by friendly people like Fletcher. And I don't know if
Know of him.
he caught the runner that was visiting him. And
This
started-
is all very
started
true.
Paying and talking through. Even
fact-
I walk around the surface. I walk even without these folks here. And
I truly am not too worried about our interactions necessarily with the discrimination per se, though whatever they would place upon us would just be reflections of the will of Bahamut. So I would accept whatever they put on. It's nice that they truly believe us as equals, but if they truly did not, I could understand as well. But nonetheless, the safety of our numbers here and the tunnels that we have made, it's such a strong security here that we have built among these fortified tunnels. It took them 30 years to discover that we were here. When I first met Lord Cantus Sr., as you might know him, he passed some time ago.
We ain't here to get out of your home, gotta get out. We just we wanted to help Sparky. I tell you there's another way.
there is another way, and I've seen it, and it's frankly it's a better way. In some ways, it's a safer way. The sewers are really dangerous. They're dirty, they're filthy, and even with the
We keep a very clean tribe.
yes,
and
but by their
def-
the tribe, yes, is clean, but by the very nature of the place we live in is detritus
The things that come out of the other people.
and there's
we divert flows and move water. Our areas are quite high and close to the surface and dry.
And you can do all that. At the end of the day, when you walk out your front door and out of this tribe, you walk into dark, dank sewer.
I walk
all
into
due-
my people and my citizens and my tribesmates, and I see them doing the crafts of our kind, making the food of our people, surviving. Here, especially, we are significantly safer with the minor concessions we've had with Cantus and the other leading parties. We have never been safer among my people. The lock slides that caused us to come here in the first place are not an issue here. We have reinforced these walls to support all the buildings of Richmond. We are members of the community just behind the scenes, seeking our own existence among the great tapestry of people separately from them. I think what you might want to try, because you seem to share his ideas, maybe you can speak to Yurdak and temper him.
Already planning on.
With all due respect, I think. And I do ask this question out of respect. Have you walked up there during the day? Maybe gone on a tour with Cantus? Go bring a couple of the kobolds, younger, old, in
Wear one of these hats.
the opposition up and let them handle factors. And I'm sorry if this is rude. No, very little, if nothing about what the wonderful and great place and sure dangerous, but no more getting an infected wound, even just crushing your hands with bricks. All I'm asking is that you at least give the potential.
Oh, please,
it's a
no,
common.
I think it's a common, yeah.
It's a group one.
Tanner's been jumping in infrequently.
Yeah.
I cannot argue, but on the surface there is opportunity not just for you, but for your entire.
Not be surviving down here. Jay surviving down here. A lot of you just stay in these ones. Nothing saying you have to leave.
Just go to the surface to interact. Just stop hiding and then come back.
Stay down here.
You don't gotta tell them where you're going.
Just down here, definitely the Dak Nation. That is from what little I know, horrible fate to befall on civilization. Be it
I
man.
understand where you're all coming from. I truly do. And maybe we will broach the subject in time, but practices we have implied since the end of the Dragon Calling for 600 years have kept my people safer and alive in faces of all the dangers of the world. And while now might be a good time to come up where we could see acceptance, we cannot be certain about tomorrow. The uncertainty of all that we face is my greatest. Before making any concessions, I think it would be important for you to talk to Urrak. I think you have an understanding where I come from. And I truly believe we are safest down here, and I, as my chief of this tribe, make those kinds of decisions. I must think about all my people first. But I know many of my people follow or wish to embrace the ideologies of Urdak, and I see danger in that. I cannot speak upon going forward or moving an inch while the possibility of that momentum could lead to the realization of Urdak's ideologies. I must hold firm while he spreads his dogma. But I must urge, he is an Ithaquant of the Kobold. His knowledge is valuable, his stance is just, and as worthy as mine. I just cannot risk it for my people. I ask no harm come to him. But I would plead with you to speak with him, because I cannot give ground knowing that what possibility of his beliefs could come about.
You know where to find him? Because we literally haven't seen him this whole time.
I do. You did tell me.
It's on the map.
But I've.
Please speak to me afterwards. You bring her that, and maybe we can make more progress.
We will do that. Vows and leaves.
You guys make your way outside. Urdak goes back into a meditative pose. Zurich goes back into a meditative pose. Just to be clear, or just as a reminder, Zurich is in his late 70s. No, he's 81.
Really late 70s.
Yep. So far, he's in the 80s. Just
a delay and then Bray laughing.
But yeah, he's quite old. Just letting you know. That was probably said the first time you met him 2 months ago.
Well, that's part of the problem with know that he's old.
It wasn't able to come up, but if you want to know the story of the tribe, just about everyone knows it. That he was one of the people there when it happened. He's one of the few people from the original tribe. Or original of an original, like, tribes move.
Yeah.
Caves collapse. Okay, it's not that often.
So let's get into the cap.
Anyway, we leave.
Yep. You are now in the crafting center of the place. It is busy. It is noisy. People are shouting, all in Draconic. As you wander by, a lot of people do stare and call out to you specifically, and you, as they know you can respond. But they also wave to all and each of you.
Draw me a look.
And periodically, you would know this. As you pass the crafters on the outer ring, some of them, especially when they're close to being finished with something or are finished, would go up and show you. This is a demonstrative, a tradition. They say, there's a name for this that comes to I have completed. I haven't translated it yet, but that's the idea. And it's just a showing of like, I have completed this project. And you're
Look
supposed
what
to.
I did.
Yeah. And it's a common thing that any Cobalt would give to another and say like, I have done this, and the polite thing is basically going, I have seen your work, and then you would give a comment on it. It's polite if you don't know them that well to basically always say it's good or above. It's kind of rude to criticize if you don't know them personally, but it is if you do know them personally, if they're part of your tribe, which most people are. Visits do happen, but honestly, a lot of times you do know them personally enough that this is the official time which you can go, you've made a mistake, or like, this is wrong, and stuff like that. It's a built-in traditional, functionally quality check, but also like, I'm showing my pride.
Yeah, just like a quirk of culture.
Yeah. And so they do it to you. One does it to you.
I like get down and like look at it.
It's like,
We also
you see a very nice brick mold. It is made of bloody hell. It's made of terracotta. It's got handles. It's the right angles on it are quite well, and you can see embossed reversely the name City of Richmond in like a curved arc in common. And it goes like, I have completed.
And he says in Draconic, perfect work you've done, my friend.
You see his eyes get really big. He said the Draconic word for perfect, which you know is like, yes, it can apply to these things. That's a huge jump. That's like saying like, this is like Mona Lisa work. Like, I will give you money. This is artwork.
This is a masterwork brick mold.
Yeah.
God,
No, you
I was hoping for this. And he just like looks at it, goes like, by tradition, you don't respond. You don't like correct them. You take the criticism or compliment. And he just and he goes back and just like he just puts it on his shoulder.
Gilmore has no idea what happened. Just going.
that cobalt
It's
toilet, I
actually
have
too
feet.
shallow for the bricks. It's good that they don't use it.
You're gonna like every time we walk by, it's gonna be even more decorated. Like he puts up little curtains and lights it. And there's something else every time we walk by.
They find a little drawing of Bill Rock.
Gunmore.
Gunmore right at the
Who the
bottom.
fuck is Gora? Who's Gora?
I was hoping something like that would happen.
Yes!
So, yeah.
You had a list of trigger words for Alec to hit.
No, I just had like, there's perfect, there's like, if he accidentally insulted it, and like, middle ground. But no, I did not make a list of words. That
On our way to Urax.
No. After Gunmar superbly compliments this guy, Gunmar, after the smile, turns to Sparky and Sky Boy Sarkonis.
Are you good, Gunmar?
Or will remain civil if he does.
So we need to work a little bit to get back.
What?
Perfect was way too strong word. Like it was good work. And when we're saying this away from it.
Yeah, we're
obviously.
walking.
Yeah, no, you're
But you kind of dumbfounded. You went a little extra.
What do you do, Gunmar?
I called his work perfect. I was trying to
It
be
Was
nice.
it?
It's
It's like, this is perfect work, my friend. Like,
Um,
being... I'm trying to be not... What, did I go too far?
yeah, you were just a bit too forward. You were overzealous. It's
The fuck does that mean?
middle ground. Like, oh, this is good. That's great. Maybe. Not worse. Don't go worse than good. But like,
It's never bad, but most of the time it's okay.
yeah, this just saying this is good and then handing an appropriate response.
Well then. I might have given that Cobalt Superior.
Might have.
Oh well, we'll see where this goes.
That being said, for child kobolds, it
pays, especially with other children.
yeah, just like other kids.
Bolar was great at
I should be leader of the tribe. I create perfect things.
The big kobold said so.
It's just like the classic meme of concern.
Nikki, no, don't go there.
Someone order food?
Making a break for it.
I have a feeling great soldier food.
But yeah, you make it to the southern region.
Scar, Mickey. Steal a scar.
I should mention, you came here first from the southwest tunnel, so this is the one like direct to the right of that. There's roughly 8 tunnels coming out, by the way. You know, down this way is a small. I don't like the name of it, but basically chapel. To the Draconic gods. Both of them.
Okay.
At the same time,
Yeah. Yeah.
completely leaving out the turtle.
By the looks of it, he never mentioned the name in the politics of the third Draconic god.
I did take note of that.
But you go into this temple. It's like a chapel. It's a small single room. There are places. If you've ever been to a mosque, it's all carpeted, which is unusual. It shows that this is part of the stuff they've traded for, especially because not all the carpets match. But they're quite good. They cover the floor completely. There are stacks of pillows, which are very nice. Normally, you would just have spots. And if you want to come to contemplate or pray, you would come, pull up a pillow, sit down in a setsun, which is putting your feet underneath you. Which, for the geometry of kobolds, is actually very easy and comfortable, I should just point out. And keeps them out of the way and stuff like that.
It's what anteaters do.
It's not an uncomfortable position. This is supposed to be a place of relaxation and contemplation.
One of the thing is, a lot of the discomfort from that position comes the weight of the rest of your body on your legs, which kobolds don't really have that problem.
Plus, you have the tail to help, kind of support your back and that. So it's actually a very comfortable, natural position for you. Anyway, you sit on that. This one's kind of ornate. It actually has a mural. It has a mural of a platinum dragon, and then basically an effigy of Tiamat, a 5-headed colored chromatic dragon.
Hey!
Yep. Just going in a swirl. It's really simple, blunt iconography, and they just seem to be just flowing around each other into a circle on a off-white background. It's all tile, by the way. Like a mosaic tile, so cracked.
Benmar is staring at the Tiamat one, and his flashbacks to as far.
You sure?
I am.
You see a blue cobalt. By the way, all the ones here are.
Sorry, real quick.
Red and orange.
Yes.
Sparky's gonna do something that Sparky's never done. Like to
Fucking
insight-
die.
It's like
Yeah, Insight Gunmore, what you just said.
that he was okay.
No, to need to tell him before it's.
Yeah, that.
Go ahead and say.
Yeah. I trust Gunmore, but
Everything is okay.
cool, everything's okay. This is-
Making a call. Tanner doesn't trust you right here about this situation.
10.
Specifically.
What is your?
I'm not.
I
don't need to roll because I'm not deceiving people. I just want to talk.
No, he wants to know the vibe.
Yeah.
It's 10's pretty low.
Alex is looking for what to put it.
It basically be your deception or persuasion if you're telling the truth, deception if you're lying. Did either of those beat it? Don't tell me which one. Just did a 10 beat your passive, which is 10 plus those. So it only beats it if you have a negative in either of those. And okay.
I have.
Positives in
It
both.
looks like you're both charisma skills and he's a paladin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Then-
would be the same.
He doesn't get anything from you.
Even though he ties more?
They tie?
My
If there's
passive. Wait a minute.
He said
No.
No, because he's got positive charisma,
Oh,
so
okay.
he can't tie.
Okay. Continue with Urak.
Urek is sitting on a cushion right in front of the mural, maybe 5 feet from it. This is a small room. Okay, small. It's 20 foot by 20 foot. I think bigger than this room.
Did you just say fireball?
Don't tempt me.
Don't tempt me.
Look, I can have a cat wizard here as soon
Fireball's a beast.
he knows where to go.
The beast of a spell.
Got blades on speed.
What is his name again?
Urek.
Iraq.
You are a K. Urek is sitting in the Setsun position. He's blue. As I've mentioned, he's a blue Azeel, so he looks like quintessential blue, if that makes sense. He does not look that deep. No, he looks like the
Right.
color blue. That's too
too
light. Don't worry about it.
If you pull out a blue crayon that just
Yes.
says blue,
Kinda like-
that's
yeah.
the color.
No.
It's like your shirt, but a bit darker.
Actually, a little bit more saturated, but yeah, your shirt. You do see his wings. They are contoured to his clothing so they can be out. But other than that, he is wearing actually a flowing robe. He looks a little sleeker than you, but honestly, a kobold's a kobold. Anything else of notion? He has a staff next to him on the side.
He's aiming a shotgun at you.
Just want to talk to him.
Actions. Yeah, he's got a staff. He's got a standard dagger, but a lot of kobolds around here have daggers. That's just kind of everyday wear.
The fuck else are they gonna use? Longsword? You're right.
So yeah, he's got the staff. He's got his wings out. He's blue. You can't see his eyes, but they're closed, and he's sitting in contemplation. Yeah.
Does he seem old or does he seem younger?
He seems older than like Nook and Sparky. He's much younger than the other one. You, being a kobold, could peg him in his mid-40s.
Okay.
There are subtle signs when it comes to the scales and movements and the
Like
little bit of
luster,
yeah, you can get an idea. But you really have to kind of grow up among them. And even then, like, you can get it wrong. Like, I've seen, 60-year-olds that look 40, and I've seen 30-year-olds that look 60. So everyone ages differently.
13 or 40.
You were in the room. You weren't quiet about it. But he's just sitting and looking, or quietly meditating where he is.
Excuse me, are you Harak?
I am. And who are you?
We are Pact Magic.
Yes.
Common or draconic?
He immediately does Draconic.
I addressed him in common.
Oh, okay. If you addressed in common, he will speak in common. Sorry. You asked, are you like? I was like, I am. You speak the common tongue, so you are guests.
Here you're an Ithaquan of Tiamat, is that correct?
I am. And he stands up and turns around and sits down again, so he's facing you.
Gunmar will sit down, relative, talking this distance away from him. Take off his helmet.
Please, join me. Even if you do not worship, this is a safe space, and we may contemplate together. I see you probably wish to meet and talk with me.
Okay.
Please, pull up a cushion. Let us sit and talk.
I wish worshiper of Tiamat to a former worshiper.
Everybody sitting down? Or does it
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one. That's good.
The
If
traps go
Sparky
off.
sits down.
Yeah.
They have these very dim, they're actually like bioluminescent bugs that are in jars.
Now I have questions.
Suddenly Darwin is
yeah.
invested.
Like all the lights around town got significantly bright, significantly dimmer when we passed through. Darwin's just like, whoop.
It's not even Darwin, they're just following him out.
You do see that they're like,
Darwin's just glowing.
they're tin-lidded with holes and stuff like that, but you
That's
can
how Darwin
just
gets
unscrew
dark
them.
vision, just glowing around him at all times.
I do like the idea of it becomes a big
Oh,
deal.
they have
Where
food
did all
and
the
sticks
bugs
and shit.
go? And just
If that
Darwin in the
wasn't-
in the distance glowing.
Flowers into the
That's
don't know.
one side quest. This is
Sure.
Rockstar
Yeah,
Bubble
sure.
Lights.
Give them a little bit of fancy flair with flowers.
If you flare a flower in side of it, they land on it and start eating
Yeah.
the petals.
Good for them. It's
Fucking shade.
Nobody like that here anymore.
But yeah, a lot of the lights down here I should mention are either bioluminescent moss or bugs. There are
Darwin's like, careful what you feed my babies.
They're my
All
baby.
bugs are his babies.
You don't know this yet?
Yeah,
they are captured, by the way. They can't escape, if that wasn't clear. They are kept in strong mason jars
I was
functionally.
kind of hoping that it was a
Do I know
symbiotic
what-
thing where the kobolds feed them and so they stick
Oh.
around.
They do get fed, but they are captured bugs.
Do I know
It's-
what kind they are? Just offhand.
They-
You would know them as twilight fireflies. It's a version of fireflies that are not as bright.
Okay.
They're brighter than our fireflies. Our fireflies aren't that bright. You can see them and shit. These are illuminating. Especially once you feed it, you see they're they're really. It's a biological process of them eating.
Not good, so you can tell they're pooping. Right there.
Or at least digesting. Probably if it gets muddy and it's why is it so shaded here? And it's we haven't cleaned the jar. But yeah,
Why is the lighting so shitty?
Either haven't fed the bugs or haven't cleaned them up.
Yep. They're nice though. I mean, they're relatively big.
Ooh.
It is like 4 or 5 per jar. Speak, since you seem to wish to.
He did. Gunmar did just say I was from
Yep.
a current worshiper to a former. I'd like to know your views on. I like the perspective on what Tiamat.
Certainly. It is my divine duty to spread her words among my people. And while she speaks rarely and softly, the gifts she bestows upon me and the energy of her beliefs gives me the strength to go from tribe to tribe and telling her story and influencing and not inspiring, inspiring my fellow kobolds. You see, we are dragonkin. We are byproducts. Sorry, we are creations of the great dragon gods themselves. The full mystery of our creation is not bestowed upon us, and nor are we allowed it, but byproduct of their hands, we carry the draconic lineages of centuries, millennia past through each and every kobold. Each of these gives us a divine right. Each drop of this blood allows us to take agency over ourselves and our environment. It is our right by divine nature to rise, to live above all others, to come together, to build a grander nation, to form a great power amongst ourselves. And now that the eldest dragons are gone from this land, the gods themselves have bequeathed to us the same powers they bequeathed them. And this is nothing but divine right that we shall take these opportunities to build together a new nation for kobolds, by kobolds, and live topside once again.
Does indeed sound like the teachings of I myself was a paladin in her name for quite 15. My life I spent. Of course, she too whispered in my ear, guiding me. Knowledge, vengeance. But that is where you believe her to be savior of the kobold race. Uplifter. An uplifter. Someone who shall show you the way to be set me on that same path many years ago. In my darkest, I reached out for her. Gave my tribe. I was of no longer use to me. Tiamat is savior or an uplifter. Only me, Tiamat followers.
Everything you say is true. And everything you said follows with the teachings of Tiamat. As she uses us, we use her. The power she grants us is but a temporary contract. We are to use it to uplift ourselves, and should we disappoint her, we are no longer worthy of such gifts. But we owe her nothing, but yet she teaches us self-worth, of value. She gave you voice and power when you were at your weakest. She gave you access to the means to seek out a life that you wished to have at the time. These are the teachings of Tiamat that we spread, of worth, of value, of independence. We bring together my people, and we give ourselves strength and purpose. And in our dogma, we give them identity. We use her gifts as she uses us. And when our use is fulfilled, she will take back her powers as she sees fit. But the lessons she gives, those remain. We are dragonkin. We deserve more than caves and sewers and mythic children's stories. We are dragonkin. Power is in our blood.
Path of conquest, you seem to. There was once a path I walked as well. But I have learned not that long ago. Maybe a long ago, I don't fucking remember.
Like 3 weeks, dog.
maybe a month and a half, dude.
Not been very long.
Something that I learned. Conquest war against only for our betterment will only lead to Bofest. It is not the way to liberate.
Stagnation will lead to our death just the same.
There needs to be a middle ground.
There is the
Murky here as
you see before. It's a quantum power only, and the Hive have been great powers.
quite literally struck by lightning, I believe.
And using power that was my own, and was I did as you said. I uplifted Nitra. They now on the surface as equals, and it was not done contract, but it was done as
It was done.
it was done under our own power of our own volition. Kobolds of Winterfell are there to do what they wish, where they
Then
can.
without thinking, you have walked the path of Tiamat. You have
No.
uplifted.
Well, there
Our
was no
path.
conquest. There was a lot of
Our paths
cooperation.
are
No
very
com-
different on one key point. I don't believe kobolds better than anyone. If anything, right now they're seen as lesser. But I don't want to lift them of harmony with the other races of the world. Learn them of our ways. Respect is part of conquest, and not always. There are, in case you didn't know, there are human god. Our paladin here follows.
Former god of war.
There are ways. There are ways we don't have to crush everyone under our foot. That'd be an impossible task otherwise. What you're looking for is easily, very easy. I don't think you're going about it as a big deal.
Know about this, as some would say,
I think-
the dragons of the dragons of old, the ancient ones as you call them. They believed themselves superior to all.
Our,
And where that lead them?
our founding. You misunderstand, but you seem to know our history. Where were the kobolds during that time? Subvertients. Slaves among masters of our own blood. If we would mingle with others, we know our history, we know our own weaknesses. I do not go into this blindly. I seek because should we mingle, we shall be subservient again. Should we integrate, we risk our culture and our weaknesses exploited again. We were slaves once. I will not see my people be slaves again by wealth or force. I will not conquest to destroy an empire, for yes, that is foolish. We seek in open eyes. We deserve land and solitude and safety and the resources that we can find above ground. But we do not need to find them in settlements on empire land. We need to carve for ourselves territory and secure it, safetify it, and gather ourselves. In numbers, kobolds are strong. We don't need to war to destroy others, but we need to war to define ourselves and find our own land.
The problem is, you start doing all that without talking to anybody or anything, they're gonna see it as an act of aggression.
Or
And
You come out and people will swing back.
they'll start killing all kobolds again. If they're coming out taking whatever they want without regardless, it's foolish and short-sighted to think not only of our future, but our far future, our existence as a race. We could, if we go about that way, just like the dragons did, then we're just gonna end up wiped out like they were.
You as Zurich seek so much from the future, are paralyzed by it. We do not know what truly will happen. Yes, maybe they fight back, maybe we can talk. I am one of skilled tongue. I can diplomatize as needed. I need not always fight for the land if one can become from better purchases. The purpose, though, of the movement is to go topside, is to define ourselves and live in seclusion.
That we agree, but their force and violence just as much as taken by force, much more.
Then we should, but we do not need to integrate into these settlements and societies. That such brings and bolsters the weaknesses of our people.
Then you're playing the Empire entirely?
There are many empty spaces in the Empire.
Why haven't you gone?
I am influencing the people here. and I go tribe to tribe and build our numbers. Half the people here walk with me on this mission, as the other half walk currently with Zurich. When I have convinced enough here, I will move on in my great journey to convince the next colony and the next, and soon, rather than centuries from now, we shall all rise when the time and numbers are right. We are not foolish to attack with just 200.
You sound like you got two plans here. One is to bugger off and have your own city somewhere. The other is to amass a force to attack with. What's your plan?
They need
here?
to go hide off so they can amass their army.
Well, yeah, but if you just want a land of your own, why attack?
To defend ourselves if needed to be.
Defending and attacking are literally the opposite thing.
Look, I am not naive to think that going up will not ruffle feathers, but I will not have our people steamrolled by waves of king's arms. We will hold out, and I understand the threat of the Empire, but we will hold out with our powers and our gifts that we have been bequeathed by Tiamat and Bahamut.
And I offer you a compromise of some sort. Obviously, not many kobolds in tribe have been to the surface or even done your part, my part, and George's part to make any move without tribe as a whole involved. They propose meeting. Sorry, I meant to say meet and greet, but then I just stopped at meeting because it's Hammer. But some way. Obviously, the surface is not dangerous to kobolds. You have traveled from city to a small group of kobolds. Know what it's like. Duty in your job to Bahamut's sorry, whoever.
Gen 1. Odd. Let me speak their name. But nonetheless, we are agreed. Going topside is the first step to all of this. But Zurich will not budge. While I pledge and preach the word of Tiamat here, he has given no footing. The fact that he's even had runners for as long as he had is an amazing step. But will he ever agree to a rendezvous topside in his old stagnant ways while I still exist in this colony? I don't know. For I have yet to convince him.
I believe.
Many times for several hours. We converse near nightly. We are both Ithiquants and both dedicated to the kobolds. I recognize his power and rightful order as chieftain. His decision runs this colony, no matter how many outrank him. That is the tradition of the kobolds.
I've already talked to him, and he seemed amiable to the idea. Talk to you. The idea of this.
I'm glad he's amiable as that. And if you had come and met me first, I would have done the same. Asked you and met with him.
Insight.
Go ahead.
Plus, I think.
I should be using my.
Oh no, that's a +5.
I'm efficient in it.
So that's a 19.
Matched. Go to the lower. Telling the truth.
Okay, remind me what he said again.
That he would have suggested we
Cool.
Zurich if we had gone to Uruk
Mhm.
first. They are dichotomous in their philosophies, but not outright aggressive to each other.
Not really at all. They are symbolic entities of two majorly divulging ideologies.
But at their core, they both want the safety of kobolds.
Yep.
Very different ways to go about it.
Yep.
Then here I come with a third option.
So we have the Goblin tribe that are basically on their own, still welcome to the Empire. You could basically have that with the kobolds, and then the kobolds,
As a temporary footing to your territory.
and then
City.
that way that would still be the seclusion safety that Zurich wants in that city.
But topside, like you want.
Yeah, the goblins are able to have their people while at the same time welcome with open arms from the air.
I believe this is a conversation to have with
Yeah.
both of them.
Yeah.
I'll say right now, kobolds are a sedentary race. Traveling such as that nature is not coherent with necessarily what we are for. It would be a very hard sell to adopt that nature. On another level, I have met of your kind, Yellow Goblin. I have sat with them and spoken with them. I am happy to see another of their kind. Here, though, you being with this group, I'm afraid probably bodes poorly for your original tribe, and if so, you have my humblest, oh shit, what is the word? Condolences. But nonetheless, I have met many of your tribe in the traveling, and while I see the value in it, and I'm glad you have adopted to it, sedentary nature, the founding of village center, a craft circle as you know it, he says that in Draconic, but you know it references the place, the circle in the minute. It's a foundation to our people. We need to find a place where we can exist and express our culture and our systems as necessary. I'm glad the traveling nature befits your kind, but it is not our way. Though if you would suggest it, some might be up for it, but I don't think it's the forward path, and I think Zurich would be in agreement with me on this.
I think the big takeaway was that goblins retain culture whilst exist on the surface with other people.
And do so by traveling and moving around and carrying their culture on their backs. It's a wonderful feat. It is just not our way. We need security and land and a single place to stay and put down roots.
I'm loving this shit.
Thank you.
Good, it's your arc.
I didn't hear a word that Michael said.
I said I'm loving this shit.
Yeah. Michael's having a good time, and that's all that matters.
This is a good time.
Regardless, I think we should.
As do I. Let us talk after lunch. You go, mingle among the people, ask some of them, get a feel for the populace. You might have a better inroad than both me and Zurich, as we are Ithaquants, we are revered to a point that it can stifle some...
Free speech.
Not everybody feels comfortable talking to, or talking against the person they're speaking in front of. It would be nice to get a better idea. We both know that roughly the colony is split half and half. But if you could get more ideas and speak to them over lunch, after we speak, maybe you can bring to light some things. In the meantime, I shall be here and continue my contemplation. Eric probably is doing the same in his chambers. Please enjoy our food, and thank you for visiting me.
Dude, the food's really good.
Mark picks up his helmet.
You walk with Ishmael's light well. Continue walking his path, and may his light guide you forward.
I may not agree with the god you worship, but from the conversation I've had with you, your heart seems to be in the right place. Wish you luck on your path.
Yours.
Thank you. Did you ever hear whispers from Tia? Tell her I was thankful for the gift that she gave me at the time. I'm trying to put... I don't know what the fuck I'm saying at the moment.
You can drop it at that, or you can keep going. It can be like just like, I don't know where I'm going, I'm frustrated, I leave, or you can like power through this.
Will Alex know what he wants to say?
No.
Okay,
Gunmore
that's
knows.
I feel like begrudging respect was a pretty...
Begrudging respect is where I'll end it, not saying thank you to Tiamat.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, that... I understand the struggle you went through. Accepting and then losing the power is something that every follower of Tiamat understands, at least among the kobolds and the ones I have met. We know this power is not forever, and we know that when we have reached our zenith, it is no longer ours to keep. It is only ours for the journey. It is one day my wish to be among my fellow kobolds once again. A kobold, not an Ithaquant. People with religion or just positive intelligence can roll if you want.
Damn it. I'm not proficient in religion.
Do it.
I have positive
That actually
intelligence.
makes a lot of sense. That's fine. 9? Ooh, sorry.
Also not proficient in
Nine.
Does positive zero count as a positive number?
No, it doesn't.
I can't imagine the look on Alex's face right now.
12.
It's exactly what you imagined. I can't roll.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm always bad.
Huh, shit. Beck, did you get anything?
If someone rolls a 1.
You got this, Grace. I believe in you.
It's
I
too
rolled
late.
an 8.
I believe you.
Believe in yourself. You've got to roll now too.
I'm
Are
not
you proficient in
so I
history?
can't do my thing.
Or religion.
I heard you're proficient in either with a +1 to intelligence.
That's enough.
You can roll.
I'm sorry, did you say I could do history?
Okay.
No.
No, sorry.
Okay. Okay.
It actually makes a lot of sense why you wouldn't know this bit of trivia I'm about to drop.
Hey, Beck got an 18.
Beck!
Fuck.
Thankfully. Okay, you know this and
Heck
can
yeah.
choose to choose it with everybody else.
You know this. You
Choose
tell
not
no
to.
one.
You know that for some gods, none that you really worship, not that you do, per se, or don't, you don't know, no one else here knows, that sometimes they give power and for a purpose, but then take it away. It's rarer, and it's usually done by more of the chaotic or evil gods. And so the relationship he has with Tiamat, that like, I have this power for a purpose, and it is not mine to keep. You recognize that as this kind of transactional relationship.
Toxic relationship.
But more like it.
A business deal.
Yeah, they know what each other is for. They are coming on more leveled grounds. Tiamat wants something, the person wants something. They have found a mutually beneficial relationship for the time. And that's common in these kinds of either more chaotic or slightly evil relationships.
Power to make a bunch of enemies as you slaughter your way to this, and then I'll take it away and you'll just solid it.
You get a feeling that if he would do that, if he would make a bunch of enemies and conquest and like really like take this to the extreme, she wouldn't take away the power. You're still fulfilling Tiamat's purpose. He wants to find an equilibrium on the surface. He just needs the power to get there.
Okay.
He does.
He thinks he does.
Yeah. I don't know how to work that better than you did, but
That's fine.
yeah, I would
Is
share
shared
that information.
information.
The Empire.
Basically, yeah, he wants to get to the point where he no longer fulfills the ability to be a scion of Tiamat, where he is no longer in mutual agreements. Where it benefits Tiamat no more to have him as a follower. At least a follower worthy of power. The guy is willing to go the distance. Actually, this is just
good.
yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah. After that,
Supposed to like babies.
There was fried cow.
Doesn't it? Supposed to like
with that we're
babies.
gonna head to
Oh.
pick a nuke
Yeah,
for
but-
lunch.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we're having
Lunch?
lunch with Nuke?
Yeah.
I'm down.
If you guys want to eat here, which is what was implied, but you don't have to. It's easy enough. You can go across the whole center. You're literally the opposite side. And yeah, you pick up Nuke and you go to the center, which is where the food is. And it is kind of like lunch. By now, you've talked for a significant amount of time with both Zurich and Yurek. And so it's left.
Once we get Nuke and start sitting down,
You guys, I'm going to do a little out of character here. Does anybody have questions about their stances or what clarifications? About Zurich's stance and Yurek's stance?
no, it's very cool. Actually.
I feel like the dance is clear. I don't know if I'm not understanding Urak's plan or if Urak doesn't understand his own plan. He has one of those
Urak
arguments that he just circles around the same thing and won't be convinced.
No, he does have a fairly good understanding of the limitations of conquest and, like, he can't take on the Empire and stuff like that.
Right.
He basically wants something sedentary, but also kind of like the goblins. He basically wants to go somewhere and make his own city-state.
Right.
And just kind of build that up until it becomes a kobold.
The main problem being if
The Empire
But he
owns
keep-
all of this land.
yeah, if the Empire
Which
sees
is
them
why I asked
gathering
him if his plan
power.
was to leave the Empire.
No.
He said yes.
So
thought he said yes.
He did not.
Okay.
No. His goal is
Okay.
to basically take land for himself and the kobolds.
If
But
kobolds,
just for the kobolds.
if kobolds start amassing power somewhere,
That's gonna be a problem.
the Empire will fight back,
Unless the Empire is.
and that's why they need the power to fight back when the Empire comes
Fight
in.
back to
The
them.
problem being,
The easy.
I don't think any of the kobolds that he's convinced to go along with Tiamat's
Wanna
plan
die.
even know what they're getting into. They don't know what war's about.
Probably not.
They don't know how bad it is. I think that you should maybe ask around and see what they understand of this plan.
Well, and
I can also share
How
some
many of them
collaborations.
really want to leave their home to go off to the city-state in the middle of God knows where in the Empire that they're gonna have to fight for the rest of their life when they could do what you and Phil did and just live their lives here?
Right. It's
I
all just going to be an issue of
Mm.
finding the middle ground and
Well-
convincing both of them that it's the middle ground for their own
I
ground.
think Zurich's open to it. The problem is he doesn't want Iraq to take half of his people, bugger off somewhere and get them
Right.
killed. That's why he's not budging. If he knew Iraq was amenable to something else, he might give. Zurich's not gonna give until Iraq sounds less bloodthirsty.
Right. He did. The main thing that I caught on to is that he does seem is very okay with taking the piece if it gets it.
Yeah.
With something I can work with.
Yeah.
It's something Candace can work with. It's something the Empire can work with.
Maybe start here.
Right. As if
There's an element that I just want to emphasize.
okay.
Among going topside, Urek is very set on separation, seclusion, no intermingling. He doesn't want to integrate.
Iraq, right? The blue one?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, my cat wants inside. He believes
He does not want culture
You have
bleed.
easier access
Yeah.
to the crane.
he wants our own civilization. And he wants that for two reasons. One, he does believe in the superiority of dragon kind. There is a superiority element of like,
Right.
you get worth because you are yourself. This is a racism kind of thing going on here. The second part of that is he understands the weaknesses of kobolds by their history. He knows that they have been exploited and have always been exploited, and as by some of their tales, were designed to be slaves, were created to be subservient. He wants to avoid that, and he doesn't want to be subservient to dragons. He doesn't want to be subservient to anybody, and he believes the only way to do that is
Is to make his
seclusion.
own laws.
Well, just no interaction. They don't intermingle. It's completely separate.
He wants
No,
to
I think that
Yeah.
his idea made sense to me.
So
But,
that's
like-
one of the big things with the goblin thing won't work. The
Right,
goblins
right.
go from town to town to town. That is a no-go for him.
The problem is he literally can't have what he wants if he wants to take.
Right. That's why we are trying to convince him to peacefully do shit and talk. How are you doing, Duke?
Hi, Duke.
Hi.
Yeah, you've just been here the entire time.
I've got
We all have bowls
questions
of curry.
for you, if you don't mind.
Oh yeah, there's various kinds of curries. I would say, by the way, this is a coconut curry. With some lemon zest. This is very unusual. You've never had either of these flavors. They mix really well. But this is a byproduct of their relationship with Richmond. In the trading they have done. Fresh fruits and stuff like that is a product of the city, and now they can get it.
Hey, do you like Dirk? Well, if you go with Uruk, you can't get it ever again.
Food's always a great option.
What the fuck is this white stuff in this curry?
Do you see? I don't know. I don't like coconut. Does it dissolve? Kind of. It's flakes.
It
It's
depends
like,
what you do with it and how
I'm
you
pretty
cook
sure it
it.
would stay flaky.
Okay.
It would stay flaky, but like depending on the curry, it might be covered in sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all because it's also white shaving. So
Yeah.
White shavings with
You
it's
might
a yellow
think it's
curry.
rice.
It's, you know. Anyway, yeah, it's
What's this
curry.
rice crunchy?
I hate coconut.
I also hate
I just tried
Yeah.
coconut.
None of us like.
Boba tea.
Oh,
Excuse me.
It's pretty good. It
Coconut
doesn't
is
really taste like coconut, but
alright.
it's just like just a bit
Doesn't mean
chewy.
you like it.
It's weird.
Understandable.
Coconut jelly and like boba tea.
Let me do
There's a place in Chicago.
Good time.
What's your whole opinion? Iraq versus really been going on for a while.
He's been here for a few months now. He's got half the tribe
It
on
took
his
him a
butt.
few months.
That's not bad to change an ideology of a team. Anyway,
If I changed half of Columbus, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah. What I'm hearing is that the job's already partly done for me.
There's a cult here.
but they follow the vision, as far as you know, of the other guy. Well, I get where Iraq is coming from. Like, I go topside all the time, and you know, there's a lot of resources up there, and sometimes I'm on the hunting team, and having that kind of fresh meat is so nice and good, and I like the fact that we were able to trade for a long time with, you know, the Cantus group, but now that they're gone, if we don't get fresh meat, we don't get meat. And it was never as good as the dry stuff anyway. And so, like, there's a lot of value in going topside, but you know, he doesn't want us, you know, talking with people or interacting. And, you know, like, I know Fletcher and, like, a couple other guys up there, and they seem not, and I know you guys. And, you know, they're good, and I've been guard duty a couple times, or escort for Zurich, and Cantus seems cool, and all that. You know, like, I'm not fully on that side. So I think going topside is important, but
you don't want to necessarily
you know,
be without the rest of the world.
well, I just think, you know, there's value there, and, you know, we can go with it. But at the same time, it's, you know, I'm trained, you know, I got skills. I didn't get these overnight. Like, I was trained by the fellow runners. I may be the lowest ranked, but I am, you know, lowest in experience, but, you know, I can still take on almost any cobalt here with the skills I have. And it wasn't easy. And, like, I'm capable, but, like, when you think about our breeding mothers and our eggs, like, they need, you know, space and time, and the conditions have to be right, and plus, like, I'm still a crafter at heart. You know, I make my whittles. I whittle my crafts. And, like, when I'm not running and going topside, that's still what I do, and I can't do that while on the run, but I could definitely do that if we had our own place, and we worked together, and I would love to see more kobolds, and coming together as a big group is really appealing. But at the same time, we need stability and safety, and Urak really, you know, emphasizes that. And we have done so well here. Like, look how big our colony is. It's huge. It's almost what it was beforehand. And if we can find ways to live under more cities, like you from Hinterfell, we can live in a nice, cooperative background, you know, entity. Involved, but not involved. And, you know, there's a lot of safety and security in that. And, you know, I have hatchlings I train on, and I don't want them to have to face a world where they're gonna get crushed under carts and abandoned alleys and stuff. Attacked by wolves.
Yeah, without you.
Wolves are gonna find you even if you go make your own city. Wolves are just wolves.
You can build walls. I mean more like traveling around and stuff. We're good at making walls. It's a lot like making tunnels. You just leave off the top.
Give God inspiration.
I have inspiration.
It's a dangerous game.
I've never once used it, but I have a tally mark.
No.
I'm up to 3.
You haven't used them. It's one.
Shit. Well, Alex.
Yeah.
What was the name? Unfortunately, I think it happened before the recording started. Didn't you tell me that there was a city of, like, basically just kobolds already?
No, there's other colonies.
All other colonies.
And the only other colonies that were mentioned, I believe Cantus is. There's a known colony in the capital. What extent they are integrated, what they do, their politics, their style, and stuff like that, that's not known.
No. I mean, the people that were working on the windmill, they said they got their dines from a kobold settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they were
And
talking
that's why
about.
they knew what a kobold was and were excited to speak to.
They went to the capital,
Oh shit! They went to the capital
and that's where they got introduced to kobolds there.
Gotcha.
Oh, so you have a little bit of background. You know they're integrated into the Engineers Guild.
So they are on the surface of the capital.
Kind of.
They exist and have been seen in the capital.
More than Richmond, less than Hinterfell.
Yes.
Alright.
I'll be right back.
That's a good way of putting it, because as far as you know, it could be literally like, okay, these are the paying customers, and they became he applied and became a member of the guild.
Yeah.
To get access to those plans. It might be a very secluded, secretive group, kind of like Cantus and the other people are treating Rich. Or maybe he's just like a commissioned engineer, and just like, oh, you want schematics here? Like, you don't know the scale.
Right.
But yeah, there's a colony in the capital, and that's where he met them.
Who is an active part
Society,
of
yes.
society, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say, Nuke, if I proposed that Select Miscellaneous went to the surface?
At a field trip.
Explore the city, boundaries of the city as well, see what the side is like. So, kobolds, you've left the surface, Urak has. I don't even know if Zur haven't left the surface, or left the... And it's safe enough, like, even with all the dangers you described. That doesn't... First us, and then second of all... That
I just want to point out you're pretty strong.
Yeah, but it's not like those things they too happen, yes, but...
The city's full of children who have no defensive capability around living their lives. They don't get
It's-
stabbed every day.
I have seen them get stabbed.
I think it
I
would.
said every
I'm
day.
sure you've also seen kobolds die down here.
Yes, I have as well. And I've seen at least one other runner die. He missed a jump.
Grace laugh.
But-
Canada died.
I.
But no,
Much
by the way, he
better
is truthful. He
photographs than I
has
have.
seen a dead
Oh, in
child.
that case, yes, it was fun.
You know, he's been topside for over 10 years and only goes out at night.
Yeah.
He only sees the poor side. Yeah,
But I.
a
What would
little
you
bias
say?
there is what I'm getting at. Yeah.
What would you say if
Doesn't hang out in the Togus ward
I?
He's gone out to see New York,
in the 80s.
and that's it.
No.
Yet he still has a positive outlook.
So what would you say to something like that? Maybe during the daytime where it's.
Daytime
we'd
is
have-
scary
We'd have to
and
get some hats.
yeah, it's really bright out
Well, we
and stuff.
could disguise you. We could give you something to.
It's
I-
more
I-
about the eyes.
Oh,
I,
that's a good
I
point.
don't think the logistics are going to be an issue. I believe you guys are going to be able to figure that out. Convincing Zurich to go topside. He's worried about any forward momentum is going to just put more people onto Zurich's side, and they're just going to steamroll him. And at the next, I don't have a word for this yet, but basically it's where you periodically quorum or something like that. You don't vote a chieftain is technically for life.
Yeah.
If enough of the tribe basically goes we don't want this guy anymore, you functionally need, it's not an exact number, you need roughly between 60 and 80, and you can vote a new chief. You can force a chief out. There's a word for that, I haven't made it up yet. But he's worried that he might get enough force to force one of a quorum. And it's mostly Zurich. I'm worried about. He's incredibly stuck in his ways, but on top of that, he's taking a very defensive path. You need to convince him that going up is not going to necessarily strengthen Yurak's side. He's okay losing some support, but if it's enough to get him out of power, it's most likely the next one to be voted up will be Yurak. It's rightfully their position. You don't have Ithaquants in your tribe. So, Ithaquants of Bahamut don't usually lead tribes. They're healers, they're philosophers. That's really rare, from what he tells me in his communication with other tribes, because they can talk on a spiritual level across great distances, and seem to be interconnected in some way through Bahamut. But he's one of I think 2 leaders he knows in all of the colonies across the Empire. That is a Ithaquant of Bahamut. By right and kind of by their nature, most tribes are led by Ithaquants of Tiamat.
So Uruk isn't part of this tribe?
It's interesting. So they lead, or they will lead a tribe. They will go into a tribe, come and visit one, spread their dogma, from how I understand it, get a quorum to take place, become the leader, and then they uproot the tribe and send them to a place that they know of where they are preparing for something.
Ah, they're like lions.
At that point, that tribe, he then hands the tribe over to a new chieftain, as standard succession goes, who is usually someone very trustworthy to him, and usually he'll guide them to the place, after which point they go back out and go find other colonies. So they lead by right, and sometimes they'll lead for several years before they uproot the tribe, but the ultimate goal is to get to a tribe, become its chief, and move it to wherever they go.
So they've already done this multiple times.
Yes. The process has started. It's been going on for hundreds of years.
Question: if your people, your friends, they want to leave, or do they just want even your home? That's Sparky's option.
It's difficult. We are the lucky ones. I can't stress this enough. We have had such good communication with the topside people, and our community has grown and been stable for generations. We are the outlier. Not all colonies are like yours and mine, especially as you get closer to the old Empire borders. A lot more fear. We live longer than most people realize, and the stories of the dragon calling are fresh in many minds. There's fear and desperation in exposure. We tell these stories still as it's not stories, it's history. It's our history.
That fear, though, that Crack and his ilk.
That fear that Zurich and his ilk are using. The fear that permeates our society. Because it happened, and it can happen again.
So most of their doctrines seem to be fear for the Kobold. One day consider some of the other races. So much in common with dwarves. Things we could learn from each other alone, and it's... I think I can convince her. After all, letting his followers...
I think that's your inroad.
Y'all?
You, hold that thought though. I think appeals to people with Urdak is we are afraid and we know our history. We know our stories and the feeling of security that he gives us and worthless and feelings of self-worth are comforting. Even if we can't express them or even see a future where it exists, it's at the same time the guilt that we have from Bahamut's teachings and our interaction with him as our involvement with the events that led to Dragon Calling. It weighs heavily on his heart, and when we commune with him, we share those feelings. With one side we feel lesser and with the other we feel superior. This all stems from fear. You can try to circumnavigate that. Maybe you have an inroad there.
Y'all take a lot of pride in your work.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, you're one of the lucky ones, but y'all built this city.
Mm-hmm.
People going up and seeing the fact that y'all already belong here, that would help too.
I think it would help convince some of Urak's people to question his isolation beliefs.
Because that's the big that wants to take stuff away. Trouble.
I don't know. There is a place so far, and he says a lot of conquest in his sermons and his preachings, but when you speak to him one-on-one, he's a much more pragmatic individual. The colony that they have been building in wherever they are,
conquesting other kobolds?
by talking and convincing them.
Yeah, it's a diplomatic conquest nonetheless.
But it is the colony he speaks to is the largest colony of kobolds in the Empire. The second one's probably the one in the capital, and I only know of their numbers because I was there when I've been in the room when Zurich communed with them. But the numbers that Uruk has shown when he communes with them, it's dwarfs. And, he speaks a lot of conquest, but honestly, we've seen images that he has shown us from that colony, and it's safe. The only downside is it's underground still. That's the only thing they want to change.
Well, yeah, but when it's gonna start to become.
And we can worry about that, but it's a safe place, and it's away from everything. I just have to emphasize, it's a very appealing option. It's not as cut and dry as that. I know a lot of people here that hate these folktale stories and wish to take revenge on that. They are, sensitive in their image. It's...
Bahamut, Tiamat?
We are a race indebted with a history of servitude and slavery. The tales he shares with us of the greatness of dragonkind are very comforting. And his pragmatic approaches have shown results. This is not as cut and dry. I can truly see his point in a number of these methods. What he speaks is not necessarily bad for kobolds. And while I can carry myself, we are always at risk for servitude, and we know all too well slavery comes in many forms. So just don't take him lightly. Many kobolds follow him for a reason, because they believe it's the best for kobold. That being said, I'm kind of independent. I'm one of the 12 runners we have here.
Join our green party. Our green party.
I probably match your ideology the most. I think Topside is full of opportunity, and we can do stuff there, and I know people up there that are kind. I've seen stabbings in alleys where I couldn't intervene, and bar fights and death. But I've seen acts of joy and forgiveness and charity I know it's a muddy world up there, and I would like to be a part of it. I cannot speak for my tribe. The chief can speak for my tribe. That's who you need to talk to.
Alright, Sparky, only a few hundred
Of
talk
course,
to
the druid is
individually.
the cat.
Thank you very much for doing. Mark is actually going to start grabbing other kobolds.
Survey.
And basically, kind of broaching the subject, kind of being like, "What do you think about Uruk?
What do you think about this third
What do you think about this?"
Okay, the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to have you roll a persuasion roll. If someone else can speak Draconic or wants to go with you, yeah.
I was gonna ask. Most of these kobolds only speak.
Most of them do only
Okay.
speak Draconic.
So,
I will go with
But just having another person there who can kind of show, like, hey, topside person that's not dangerous can count as help.
I'll be a topside person who's not dangerous, but I can't word a draconic.
And that's
I
okay.
will also be a
It-
topside person that is
But
dangerous.
you can't
No, no.
speak a word of draconic.
it's what I'm
That's
saying is
very
like
dangerous.
Tanner could help you,
Yes.
and you could get help from someone else, and so tools can be made. Is what I'm saying.
We
Alright
have
then,
three people
I
who
did
can
give
speak
flowers
draconic.
to everyone the first day.
Who else speaks Draconic? You speak Draconic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can also take a buddy. And so what this is going to be called is spreading rumors. You're advancing your ideology. At the same time, you are gathering information and stuff. So you, based on roles, I mean, you can ask all the questions you want. Based on your role and his role, you'll get certain information
Hopefully
and stuff like that.
tempering some of the volatile.
Mhm.
Or ready to
But
go.
yeah, so you have a goal, but it also comes with information. And so you're trying to convince people, you're trying to temper ideas, but you also gather information. Kind of, you're getting the vibe of the area.
Yes.
You can also, after these roles, you can ask me a specific question or something like that. If it's within the boundary of what you succeeded on, I can tell you.
We have enough people that everyone who speaks draconic.
Yes. Yes, we have 7.
We have
How
4
long
people
are we
who don't,
doing?
3 people who do.
Yeah.
How long are we doing this?
Lunch. So this is going to be an hour.
They get real lunches here that are leisurely and fun.
Because I have my.
Communist society.
I also just like when there's time, I wanted to have a word with Nuke, just briefly. So
Certainly.
that doesn't need to be right now. It's not pressing, but just something to
We'll
keep
do
in mind.
it just. Remind me, because I want to do this session. But
Okay,
remind me after these rolls. So go ahead and roll with advantage.
But I could have done the emissary piece, but only that's 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So what are we rolling? Persuasion?
Yep.
You get advantage though.
Yeah, 15.
Not bad.
That's,
Okay.
that's good.
I don't need advantage! Natural 20, bitches!
For a total of.
This
This should be good. You are, a paladin.
Persuasion,
Yeah,
yeah.
minus
Yeah.
1.
Reroll.
22!
22.
26.
Fuck you.
Oh, damn.
Very nice. You hit the
They want
3
the positive
quintessential
personal
marks.
modifiers. Don't
You
don't
beat
feel bad.
15, 20, and 25. That being said, I don't always use 15, 20, and 25.
Yeah.
Just when you know. Cool. You all, those are all very good rolls. You all succeeded in tempering the ideologies of both sides to be more applicable to maybe a middle ground.
We're going for hope instead of fear.
Hey, like, we don't have to do one or the other. We can just smash everything.
You don't have to run away and hide and fight your existence. You don't have to stay here, hide and cower.
We can do both. Stay underground and then attack.
Other way.
No, but we go back. We stay underground. Yeah, that's the thing.
So you
Was,
grab.
We'll be like 17-year cicadas.
who are the helpers? I feel like Beetlebug Mask. Maybe not for the best, like,
He's
it's
interesting.
peaceful.
You know what? Because they can't
This
understand him.
also is a
as far
double
as they,
peaceful.
as far as they're concerned, it's just like, hey, you're top side and not attacking me. That's like a huge thing. Because like,
Outside attack.
as far as I know,
I mean, I feel like the 2 halflings are the least threatened here.
That's correct.
And then probably back.
well, and you also have like, you get the idea because those are very high rules that they don't say if like you go top side, you're gonna die immediately. Neither side is saying that.
Yeah.
They're saying basically there's danger. There's danger that we aren't prepared for, and there's unknown danger, and there's danger we know
Zerk
that we
is-
don't want to talk about.
Zerk is, this has worked, this has kept us safe. Why mess with it?
Mhm.
Because we don't know what
There's a
else
lot
to
of
do.
unknowns.
Yeah. And Urex is, let's go prepare for all the danger
Mhm.
so that when we breach, we're ready for it.
To a big extent, yes. And then there's also the known danger, which I've mentioned, is the slavery aspect. They are really worried.
It's more of like a no compromise
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. They are really. This is prevalent on both sides. They don't want to be slaves. They know their history. They know. Some of them, none of these personally remember, but they know the stories. For them, this was less generations ago than it was for halflings or humans especially, Aarakocra and stuff like that. This was far.
Grandparents.
Great-grandparents. Great-grandparents. Probably on the older side, actually. I mean, it is... we are talking 600 years. But...
That's only 3 generations of halflings.
Oh yeah, halflings live, like, weirdly long, don't they?
200.
Yeah, I always forgot about that. So no, actually, you would kind of understand this. The halflings in the party would kind of understand the, like... Okay.
Range of history
Yeah,
here.
like... It's like, that's 600... That's so long! Like, that's 3 generations. And stuff like that. And this is a prosperous... Cobalt society, which means they live closer, but not the full length.
They live their actual lifespans.
Yeah, probably minus 15%. Because it's still, it's not perfect.
Yeah, sure.
And it is very clean. I want to mention that.
Yes,
It's very clean sewer.
but like
They're part of the sewer.
A clean sewer
Yeah.
is still a sewer.
your runners still have to go trudging through shit.
Yeah.
Literally.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, that you get the feeling like that's a big concern for both sides. Is we don't want to be beholden to another entity, and some people are very outright and non-nuanced about it. Like, we just don't want to be under anything. We have our structure system; it works. We all feel like we have a voice, and some are much more nuanced. Of like, I get where they're coming from, and like they have spoken with Zurich and stuff.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Some people do not want to abide by laws of a large government, and some people are okay with that. Yes?
To a degree, yeah. They have their system. They don't want to... Some of them are probably on the more extreme side. Like, they don't want any entity above them.
non-kobold entity.
Yes, above them. They are
have to
fearful of
make
that.
you emperor.
All hail Emperor Sarkonis.
Honestly, that actually would change a lot of things, but not gonna happen.
No.
But...
You say
know,
that.
you say that.
You could have a come the city
Council or
board.
something.
Yeah, I was just
Oh,
thinking
yeah.
have it
Not-
called
not-
the king
yeah.
rep
Yeah,
and
not-
then hire the human guard so you technically have humans below you just to make you feel better.
But no,
Sure, we
putting a
could-
kobold in a position of power in the system would
help
make-
mitigate a
yeah.
lot of that.
Are there any places like
The wards, to a degree. The Cantus ward is a hugely residential area with some shopping. It's actually oddly highly middle class. This has to do with a lot of the workers here functioning are unionized. A number of the logging camps and mining companies are minor or worker owned. So they're a conglomerate of workers coming together to stake a claim. That has changed over the 200 years, and that's much more the common one, and that's why there's more middle class here. But not all of them are. The Centurion Mining Company, the largest company, is privately held. Its owners, or at least managers, live in the Togoth ward.
So kobolds need a
They are very good at that. They have that. They got a tribe. They will stick to that, like, they will not cross that picket line.
honestly, just the fact that they manage the sewers probably gives them enough sway that they'll be a small area for themselves.
If
Yeah.
they truly wanted seclusion, they could probably swing it. It's
Yeah.
whether or not that is good for them or not is
Well,
what you
yeah.
have to figure out.
And they
So-
would have to swing it in a way that does not provoke outrage from the very big Empire army.
Yeah, because while they get along with Richmond is beholden to the Empire, and the Empire had a massive,
Dragon push at some
Yeah.
point.
They killed a lot of kobolds in the Dragon Calling. Also, the Skid Row technically has some residential, but it's all working and stuff. But there's not like a, I guess, there's not like
There's
a
not like a-
Chinatown.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying
I
to
think
think.
Yeah.
that's what Vanya was after.
No, it's actually fairly integrated,
Would-
but that's, yeah.
Would we know if in maybe have something like that? Like
Um,
Chinatown or Little Italy?
Like an
or-
area with the orcs that come from like up here in the mountains.
Yeah, in major cities, yes, there would be stuff like that. You are in a
We're in a smallish city.
You're in a smallish city. It is a city, though, so it's got over, I think, last I checked, it's got just under 10,000 people.
But some of the major cities do have those neighborhoods
Yeah.
significant.
Very much so.
Okay, cool.
This is a weird young city. It's 200 years old, but that's considered
Oh,
young
wow,
by
yeah.
Empire years. It's also
Yes.
considered it's in the New Empire. There's basically one big boundary line of the Old Empire and the New Empire. They're both over 1,000 years old, like plus. It's just the Old Empire. If you want to share this, because you would know.
Stops at the Mississippi River.
Back when they made the Richmond Purchase.
Because you learned this in your research.
This is yes. I didn't
just
mention
took
this
a
at
bite,
the time.
too.
I didn't want to bring it up, but the Empire did get to where it got today through its own conquest.
So it conquered itself. Are we talking like Civil War type of stuff? or
No,
just-
it was
Conquered
Much,
the land.
much smaller area, and then
yeah,
the
that
whole land.
main
fairly
like
on-
empire was here,
Yeah.
and they spread to I think the old empire territory is like this line and lower around here.
It's this line. Yep.
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
not surprised.
Oh, sorry. It starts at 8. This is Hotfire War.
Okay.
And you know. This is Old Empire. That's New Empire.
Yeah.
They're both really old.
Does Darwin know who they took it from?
I think it was a bunch of
Or just-
separate city-states, stuff like that. And it was through a combination of
You get Moab, a history lecture.
yeah, and that's I've read a lot about this, and that's why I'm just so opposed to the conquest idea. I know how it goes.
Yeah.
You get the feeling that the Empire stopped because they hit two sides of water and a mountain range they couldn't cross.
Yeah.
Oh, and a
Desert
giant
they
desert.
had no interest in.
In a big fuck off desert.
They stopped for geographical regions.
Yep.
Break, can you hear
Which
us?
is how most people stop.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Just making sure.
If we're talking with geography, I can hear you guys.
Yep.
Yay!
That's why I leave it on, because if that's light, then you can tell
Uh,
it works.
But yeah, the Old Empire was conquered in the first two emperors. Everything else was conquered over the next seven. The first two that founded the empire, which Darwin can actually share with you if he chooses to, because he did research on those.
I think I've already shared that Fergus
Yeah.
expanded significantly
Yeah.
within the first 10 or so years of his
That's fair.
Those-
I don't
reign.
think.
Doesn't really have much to do about this, but
Right.
Yeah.
Empire history.
I don't know how many kobolds Uruk has. I know it's a lot. But
Oh,
I,
the situation is entirely different.
well, yeah. I don't think he's about to go expanding all over the empire, even if he wanted. to.
Yes.
How permanent do the walls of
They are
Richmond?
made
Wooden.
of, they are wood. They are old cut wood, so they've been around for at least, the trees themselves are a couple hundred years old apiece. The wood is a hard old wood.
But like the city has more like densifies.
Not really, no. They looks like they built these walls and have just been filling up the space inside of it. It is pretty packed, but it's not like
Bursting.
Yeah.
And it hasn't trickled outside, because that's usually what happens is things start to trickle outside the walls, then they think about moving the walls.
Mhm. And these don't look like they've moved in at least 50 years. You can tell by like, oh, some of these oaks and trees and stuff like that are alive. They do get trimmed and stuff like that, but the wall is made of mostly, logs and stuff like that, but some of them didn't die and replanted and have new roots and stuff like that. You can tell that as a druid. Most people have no idea. Most of the ones near the water, I should say.
That's not nice. Just imagine being made into a wall and then you're surrounded by the corpses of your family.
Oh shit, you can like commune with nature. You could ask him how he feels. Or they.
How do you feel about this?
Yeah,
Well,
it's alright.
there's two ways to go with this. Either it's really horrible, or they're really proud to be a protector of a city.
Well, they're a tree and just like,
Or
I'm
they're
I am
continuously.
tree.
I was like, how do you feel about this? I'm still a tree. Well, what if we make you not a tree? I want to like that.
How do you feel? Sunlight.
How,
Still a tree.
how sentient are the
Photosynthesis.
trees in you?
Photosynthesis.
Ooh, you have not met them yet.
Is it kind of like a horse, or just like, horse?
You have not communed with them yet.
Nay.
Some might be more.
One day.
Yep. But yeah, no, trees have.
I'm sure the
Maybe
druids
have
who
a
live here
per-
have already asked.
Oh yeah. Oh god, most definitely. What if they've shared the opinion? But yeah, no, okay.
Given that they're still part of the wall, I think the opinion was that they were okay with it. Or ambivalent.
Okay, it's more ambivalent.
No
They're
care.
trees.
They're trees.
I was like, do I get to be a tree? I was like, oh yeah, you're just also a wall. I stopped listening at tree.
Sorry, I couldn't hear anything.
How sentient are your trees? Literal code robots. Am tree, nothing else.
Do you have any goals? Like, I would like to grow taller. Like anything else? Sun, photosynthesize.
Water.
Water's
Not-
good.
Not die in winter.
Not a fan of witches. You can just get rid of that. That'd be awesome.
The druids are like, oh, we can work on that, but that would screw up a lot of other things.
We could make it warmer, but that involves.
A lot of these particular druids too are gonna go like, no. Sorry, you are part of the system. The system has seasons. Deal with it.
The one deciduous tree is like, I don't care about winter.
Asshole.
Fuck you, Ted.
I'm the one you complaining about. I'm doing fine.
Beef jerky went down.
I'm sorry, are you guys cold?
All the other trees are naked. Oh no, we killed
No, we
Ray.
killed.
Yeah.
We killed Ray.
Can't help
Oh
it.
no, I'm dead!
But, oh yeah, what's
Anyway.
we can wait till Michael gets back, I guess. But yeah, any other vibe checks you want to know about the populace? You all rolled fairly well. Technically, with the 25, he can have just about anything he wants. A 20 is still great. 22.
Yeah.
So if there's any like specific questions and everything, you all succeeded. You all tempered the feelings and stuff like that, cleared up maybe some misunderstandings of the more extreme people on both sides, the like super agoraphobic, like isolationists, and the ones that like truly did like, oh, Tiamat means conquer. If we go topside, I had to kill anybody who's not a kobold. Like you tempered the extremes.
Excellent.
There weren't a lot on either side, but
How
be
good
difficult.
Kobolds are mostly moderates.
It should be difficult to get the mood. Cause like, would I be able to like, from them talking, see if there's like a feeling that the kobolds are ready to like die to follow?
oh, yeah, you can totally do like an insight kind of vibe check. You would be doing a disadvantage because you can't listen. You're listening for tone of voice, body language, and other things like that. You are good about it,
I don't understand.
but you don't have the language. I believe this is an actual thing, but I can look it up. Point is, it's an insight check.
We need tongues. We comprehend languages.
15.
Yeah, these are functionally average people. 15 is easy enough to read them. Some of the more extreme, that kind of misunderstand or like full on to the whole conquest thing, seem ready to like, let's go and kill. But the actual vibe you're getting from most of the moderates and on both sides is, I would say more to your side is, we shouldn't be afraid of change. We should try something. And
don't
like,
wanna die
yes,
for
yeah.
it.
Look, he's been extremes, but we've also seen the practical steps he has demonstrated, and we think if we follow with him, we will go to as safe of a place that is still going to be good and kobold and great. And maybe sometime in the far future, we will do this giant uprising kind of thing or something like that. Especially the moderate versions, they don't even believe that's going to happen or like really ever happen. But the ideology behind it of self-importance, reliance, independence, security, gathering just a bigger tribe in one place that we can call our own and maybe eventually going topside, that appealed to them. But as far as like, hey, I'm going to go and kill like every human I can see, very few. But there were some. But like very few. And you guys
Some
tempered
kobolds
them.
want to go to
Not
war.
just that, but like
Most
those that are
don't.
like thinking like, in order to get our own conquest, take our own land, I'm willing to die.
Oh, probably about the bottom 20%. Like, it's more like nationalism. It's like, alright, if my tribe calls me to action, I will answer the call. And then I fight for my tribe, and I'm fighting for my tribe, therefore I will give my life for my tribe. But think of it more like, you know, World War II enlistment kind of thing, of like, my country needs me, I will answer. Yeah.
Do we get the impression that one of the reasons Urak is appealing is because he has taken action of results, versus Zurich, who has taken no action and inaction is just unappealing?
That's a hard thing to gauge,
Okay.
because to the kobolds, they've both taken action. Making a choice to be stagnant, to not aggress, to not progress, each one of those is an individual choice that he
Okay.
makes multiple times. To them, that is taking action.
Okay.
It is not like, if we're not moving forward with in the same thing, no, they recognize that Urek is making choices, weighing options, and going, this is the decision that we should be doing. So they don't see it as inaction.
Gotcha.
They do see both as contributors.
That's an interesting.
Yeah.
No
I
good.
figured.
You guys did a great job, like tempering a lot of the extremes, and you got answers to several questions. With a 15, 22, and 25. 26. Yeah, especially you can get all kind of answers you want. Vani also did kind of a vibe check, and got the sense that like should the call go out, a lot of them will respond like, I'll fight for my tribe. But not a lot of people will like have that mentality of like, yeah, if I'm called, I'm gonna fight for my tribe. Like, I will go and defend our
I'll
tribe.
go on the defensive.
Like, you know, if my leadership says we are going to attack or defend or just you need to take up arms, they will take up arms. A minority of that, like that's about 20% of the population. The minority of that is like, let's go up and I want to kill every human I see and stuff like that. Those guys you tempered.
Gotcha.
and really cleared up and like, it's not really what he like. That's not.
It's not great.
Do they understand that they are average people picking up just any weapon to go and fight actual soldiers?
That's part of the temporary.
Yeah.
Some didn't. Most actually do understand that.
Okay.
Oh, like a good portion of the like they understand like you get a vibe check because like I mean these are people. 15 beats it. They know they're not gonna like if they truly like it's like oh let's go take on the emperor. No, they're just dead.
Yeah.
No, they understand
They
that.
will fight to defend their homes and their families
Yeah.
if push came to shove.
Mm-hmm. But like they know they can't win. And so, like, yes, they like the dogmatic thing, but they also like the pragmatic approaches they have done and succeeded with, as far as their what they consider succeeding, and appreciate that. They are up for change, but also understand that, like, a lot of them understand that, like, no, if we can't fight the Empire as we are now, maybe in generations, as we gather together and make this great Cobalt nation, but like right now, no. And a lot of them understand that. They are pragmatic about this.
Third party.
They only see two extremes: do nothing or leave.
Like, really leave.
Yeah.
Really get.
To eventually come back, but pragmatically
Never come
leave.
back.
Yeah.
Green party.
Basically.
But you guys have lunch, by the way.
Yeah.
It's
Congratulations.
good lunch.
It's great lunch.
I still wanted to talk to Nuke.
And yes, we're gonna go to Nuke now.
Okay.
Nuke join you for lunch if you want to like pull him to the side. Easy enough. These guys are all mingling and shit.
Nuke, I wanted to have a word with you real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure, thing, Darwin.
These bugs.
So I was wondering about
What
these
he's going
bugs.
to do.
That was a joke. I'm so sorry.
No, that was actually where I was going with it.
Yes!
You wouldn't happen to have any, I don't know, extra?
Twilight, lightning bugs. Yeah, there's probably a keeper of them. Oh, I think his name is Radikai.
Take your
Radical.
stock.
He's on the western wall. He keeps them and feeds them and all that stuff. If
He needs like.
if there's any extra, he would have them.
All right.
So if you go to
My babies.
okay, he's gonna give you
Directions.
a direction that's in Cobalt speak that comes out to basically Western Tunnel 3 to the north, which translates to go to the Western Tunnel, 3 cubicles to the north.
Okay.
Um,
Do I actually understand that?
I will say yes.
Okay.
Nuke is good at kind of giving
And
directions.
you're good at directions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
But it's a weird way of telling directions based really specifically on this
So-
environment. Yeah.
I'm going to... First of all, is there anywhere obvious I can go and get a jar?
You would have them. If you do an investigation check, you can probably find either the keeper of the jars, like, they obviously look topside made, so they
Yeah.
probably are in a crate somewhere. They,
Last, so they're
with like hay and straw and it. So you can go and find them, or
Okay. I
it'd
do
be an
that.
investigation check. Yeah.
I do that. Best roll of the night, finding a jar.
Yes!
17.
Yeah.
I
It
got
takes
rolled
you.
like
It takes you to Radicat. He has the jars. They
Okay.
don't seem to use when they pickle stuff and stuff like that. They use coopers and stuff like that. They don't use the jars.
Yeah.
Um,
sense.
Trying different days.
and other things like that. Really, it looks like they bought these jars.
Yeah, but all of them are.
You realize a lot of the ones that aren't being used right now. Not all of them.
Sure, I
But a
don't
lot of
use
them
that one.
have like hairline cracks in them.
Because
They're like you can't. It's not like you can't use the jars, but they may not hold water anymore. But like they like
Yeah.
they have shattered. This would look like they were offloaded to the Cobalt because they were like
It's
you know
me, I'm the
But like just
useless stuff.
pretty minor cracks.
Yeah, minor cracks, but like you couldn't
Perfect
sell.
for say holding things that need to breathe.
Yeah. And the tin cap, which you can easily puncture and stuff like
Yep.
that. These are the kind of things that you feel like this is like the Cantus Crew unloading stuff that like, okay, somebody ordered a bunch of these from like a manufacturer. They broke along the way. They sold them cheap. We're going to sell them cheap to the Cobalts. Cobalts will value these. No one else will buy them because this was
Yeah.
the crate that broke. All the other ones didn't. And they make all their profit back. This would literally be just trash.
But the Coles can't make glass, so.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like kind of recycling or finding a need for something that they literally would just throw away otherwise.
I'm gonna go up to Radikai and specifically, in common, say greetings.
Go talk. Johnny Lock, my. He starts like struggling.
Oh no. You might need to go back and get Nuke.
Go back and drag Gunmar's
Hoi?
ignorant ass.
Hoi!
Hoi.
Hoi.
Jar! I point to the jar.
Vernak.
Vernak?
Vernak.
Vernak. I kind of hold up my coin pouch. Amount?
Bakwith?
Bakwith?
Bakwith.
Bakwith. I start taking out money. Bakwith for Vernak.
He points at Sack. Bakwith.
Bakwith?
Corfu.
Kurve.
Corfu. Bakwith.
Kurve for Vernak.
Ah!
That was wonderful.
He holds up like one of the jars and looks at Vernak for Corfu? Huh? And he holds out just one jar. And what are you holding? A gold, a copper, a silver?
I'm gonna say I'm starting with copper because it's a jar.
And he goes like, Corfu?
Yeah, pull out another copper. 5 copper.
Corfu.
Successful transaction!
Yes!
Let me mark that.
Beautiful.
I'm not going to remember any of those words.
You will.
That's why you have the recording.
I got Jar and Vernak.
I didn't write it down.
Minus
I'm-
5 copper. Very important stuff.
But you now have a jar. It is a pre-made jar, so it has, it is a jar, but it's got holes in the lid already, a little stick, and some food. Does it have any bugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I reach into my coat and pull out a bug. Bug.
Ah. Glister. You recognize the common.
Oh. So he recognizes the specific kind of bug, or
He does.
You found a bug person.
Oh my god. Is this one of my people?
Twilight Firefly. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
with no accent at all. Darwin going, Twilight Firefly.
Twilight Firefly.
Firefly.
Go for it. Go for it. He goes over to a small box, opens the lid, and takes out a tiny whistle and goes. And about 4 of them like fly up and goes like, oh yeah, go.
And did I learn like thank you from?
You did.
You would have.
Yeah.
Okay, I.
Please and thank you, you both know. You know both.
You specifically had a moment where you were like, I teach everyone
Yeah.
please and thank you.
And where is the bathroom?
And where is
This is
the
the
bathroom?
bathroom.
Draconic thank you. All the formalities.
And I do not speak Draconic.
He gives you recognize the welcome, but like it's kind of a longer one. So you recognize like the first word, and then it's just like it's a longer welcome. Yeah.
Okay. And
He
I.
said Drem, so I'm gonna assume it was agreed.
Yeah. And I go on my way.
Cool. But yeah, you purchase if this wasn't clear, that's a topside item. Topside items are traded. You traded for a topside item. Bugs are community. There's no such thing as buying from the community. You share and trade among them. You would have instantly recognized this. The bug, you are visiting, therefore you're part of the community, therefore if you need bugs, you obviously need bugs.
Darwin
Okay.
Inspiration.
Much appreciated.
Oh yeah, get
Fuck
inspiration,
yeah,
bro.
cool.
For
We'll take that.
having a shopping session in another language.
That you did not understand.
By the way, for like 5 sessions now, I've had Draconic written under languages with a little asterisk next to it. I'm getting there.
Write down
One
the
word
words
at
you
a
know.
time.
You've got jar, you've got coin,
You got bag.
Okay.
bag.
Well, do you have copper or do you have coin?
No
Do
idea.
not know.
You guys
Sorry, future people.
Thanks.
Gunmar kind of wants to do the sending thing.
Yes, I was going to suggest that before we wrap
Right.
anything up.
Okay.
2B 917 getting there.
Wish we could go later. But we'll do the
But I
sending.
actually have work in the morning today
Out.
instead of in
Same.
the afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
we'll
tomorrow.
do the sending thing, and then next session we're gonna start with you. You're gonna meet with Zurich, but probably.
I am so here for Kobold field trip.
Same.
Yeah.
I've been planning Kobold field trip. Like, the way I'm going to convince them is by letting them go tops having a field trip where I take them to all the different places. Like I've been actually planning.
How
that.
many kobolds do you want to take? Because
haven't
there's
gotten
the
that far.
two main
I
people.
definitely want to take the two main people, myself, and for sure. I want Nuke up there. Nuke is like solidly in the middle. I also want a couple of the other ones.
Okay, there's 12 runners in total.
Yeah.
But you
You've
definitely,
not all of them.
you're gonna probably want some just normals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
From each end of the.
This is this is a thing to think about.
Yep. So, like the logistics and where you want to go and stuff like that, go ahead and think about that. As
Right,
well
that's
as how you...
itinerary.
Your first hurdle is convincing Zurich to go topside.
If we show them what ice, they'll never want to leave.
Oh my god. I still have another loaf of molten bread.
But yep,
Give them bread.
no, that's gonna be your first hurdle.
That's all I.
Let them eat cake.
But sending.
At this point, Gunmar's kind of does the quick math. Okay. And he begins to start using scroll.
As you open it up, you realize that it's not in a language you speak, but it quickly rewrites itself into Draconic. Normally, your access to spells is from within as a reflection and expression of Ishmael.
Yeah.
You recognize this. This feels like, I don't have this power, it has this power. And you feel like, as you hold on both sides, that if you just push a little bit and start reading it, it's just going to initiate itself. It's kind of like you... that's it. I was about to say bomb. That's a tail way of putting this. It's like a bike at the top of a hill.
Ah.
Push and like start the spell, it's just going to go.
Okay.
But a power itself.
Uh,
Technically gravity will, but you know.
Gunmar. You want to say something?
No.
Gunmar starts, and he's hoping to God that it works. Ronvi, are you and Bular okay? It's me, Gunmar. I'm alive. I'm bronze now and weaker. In the human empire. Respond in 25 words, please.
I missed words.
That is 25 counted multiple times.
There's a beat, and then you hear a voice in your head.
If Gunmar did not hear a voice in his head, he would have fallen to his
We're dead. Please respond.
I also didn't make you roll, so you know they're on this plane. I don't... Sorry, I still have to count shit.
You want a moment?
No, I should be okay.
I always like the idea of the person on the other end not getting the time to decide what to say. Because they've literally just had this thrust like, fuck, I gotta answer this now. Fuck.
I don't know. Don't know is one word.
No, it's not.
Don't is one word.
Yep. You're not counting syllables, you're counting words.
Don't know who you are,
What? No, keep on going for it.
but I know who you're pretending to be. I saw Gunmar slaughter. You're an imposter. You will not trick me, Tiamat.
We're up at 27, but it's fine.
DM's discretion.
DM.
News. She's alive. Bad news. Doesn't think I'm Gunmar. Doesn't think
That's
Are
okay.
you?
She's
Yes.
alive,
She's alive.
and you are you, and she's alive to go find and convince. And that's what I wanted. Couldn't sleep very well knowing that's someone you care about.
Alright. There's that.
Yep. Oh, as you spoke,
And she's against Tiamat. Yeah.
you saw the writing start glowing, and about halfway down, as you finish your incantation, when you finally received the response, it finished glowing and then just fizzled away. You were left with a single piece of now, like, kind of ruined, discolored vellum. The ink holds the power, so the ink is burned away.
The ink is the.
Oh. Oh, listen that. Yep. I can't do that because it's
To know that she's alive is
Is that where you
Oh,
got?
that's where you got where you woke up.
Yeah, that's. Well, I was gonna see. It's the craziest thing. I was gonna go visit him at Cantus's house, but I walk outside the lodge and he's just sitting there at the fountain.
Joe.
Yeah,
Probably knew you were gonna come talk to him.
he did. He seemed like he already knew.
To know that Ron V is alive
Meow.
is more than enough for him.
If Ronvi is the.
Someone open the window!
But
And if Ronvi is the strong woman you've described her to be, then I know.
I can't make you come in the. You got things stuck to your butt.
Of course he does.
He's got tiny mat.
I'm thinking of taking him in because he's gotten a lot more scabs and stuff like that, and they're not food related. We've been very diligent about that, and so I'm worried he'd be allergic to something. But there are places where he can't even scratch, and so I thought they were self-inflicted, but they're in places he can't.
Yep.
But with
Cool.
that, you guys are
My wife is
outside.
alive.
of Zurich's store,
And probably Blar's.
most likely.
Likely.
She thinks I'm Tiamat.
That's fine. Like at this point, that's fine.
Being wrong
Honestly,
is
yeah.
still being alive.
Yes.
There's just a leaf on the back.
Ah, of course there is.
The fact that she's so hesitant about like Tiamat contacting her also.
Honestly, yeah, no, win. Win all around.
That is most definitely a win.
I need to think about
You
it.
need to
Nailed
say
it in the
word.
intelligence
What would you say
category.
word?
Sending is in your voice.
I was thinking of
But
giving Ron
anyone
like
can be
a
sent,
nickname,
and
like
you
I'm
don't know
Ron
who the
Carter.
sender is.
He did
You
not
just hear
say
the
he
voice.
sent me.
So if you disguise your voice and then did sending, oh yeah, you can trick somebody.
Yep.
And given
If
her,
you're a god, you can sound like whoever the fuck you
Yeah.
want.
It's
I-
really not far.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Bye, Bray.
Bye, Ray.
See you
Bye,
guys.
Ray. Bye.
Leaving Bray.
Bray, don't leave!
Oh.
That's the earliest Bray's ever left a D&D session.
Yeah.
Damn, he left before me.
That's impressive.
You left screaming, probably kicking, though I can't confirm.
Fuck yeah.
Question: Did you get inspiration for
Oh yeah,
all
get
of that
fucking
stuff?
it-
Because if
Yeah.
not, you should absolutely.
And if not for
You
that,
do. I also think that
Oh.
you should.
Do I,
Just
do I
because.
have? I don't know if I have inspiration.
I mean, a lot of
Those
stuff
were-
has happened.
I
Those
have
were some cool
inspiration.
moments.
You also get inspiration for giving Gunmar that fucking scroll.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting to talk to my wife.
Yeah. No, I know. I've been
Neither
waiting
was
2
your wife.
weeks.
My wife still doesn't fucking believe that she talked to her technically dead husband.
To be fair,
Which
she
is
did
pretty fair.
probably see your lungs.
Yeah.
I assume you're dead too.
Not in the sexy way.
In a sexy way.
I'm glad everyone's still here though, because I wanted to ask. I know this was a very Cobalt-centric and very Sparky-centric one, but I hoped I give enough opportunity for people to input and feel involved and stuff like that. I know it got very directional, but how did everyone feel about still being involved?
You got to buy bugs in a different language. I'm cool.
Yeah.
I got to argue with a fucking follower of Tiamat. I'm good.
Because I like politics episodes, but there's actually probably not going to be a lot in the future unless you guys get involved in a weird way. But this was a very much a internal kind of conflict kind of thing I wanted to explore, especially with your like backstory and what you wanted to do. So really wanted to kind of bring this is a culture thing and elevate that and explore this. But I knew it's very directed.
Yeah.
And like
Yeah.
situational, but I hope everyone still had fun and was able to, chime in. I know people did chime in, but I hope that's okay.
There's that's the thing. Everybody's gonna get their
Shame.
handful of sessions. Like it just so happened that Sparky's is the most relevant. There's
That
clearly a
means
bunch of
that's
shit going on with the druids that I'm sure Vanya will have.
We might have to
Quite
drag
the
Vanya
time.
there kicking and screaming.
Yeah. Something's going on with Tim. You've got the whole war chief
What? No, I
thing
can't
going
explain.
on. We know what's wrong with you now. And we still don't know what's wrong with fucking
I know
Hey,
Darwin.
who
we're
says
talking
anything's
about.
wrong with them?
Darwin's perfect.
There are a lot of red flags with Darwin.
Yeah, red flags, because they're beautiful.
Also, we kind of already had a Beck story.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had some pretty heavy
Yeah.
back shit.
That was the prologue.
But yeah, and I while we will have focusing arcs and stuff like that, because I think it's good for pacing and like keeping you just giving a goal of some kind and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's fun- it's fun to
I
get
want
not
people to be able to
beat
still
the-
join in on that and explore their own
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. So
It's fun to feel like the main character while still not being.
Yeah.
So.
So I felt it was fun.
You have those
Sad Gunmar.
bobby pins, the
I
ones that
didn't
are
know I
like, they
needed
go into
sad
the
gun
thing
bar.
and then you like unhook it and then click.
yeah, those are bobby pins.
Do you have a bobby pin?
You know what? We might, but I have no idea. It's gonna be somewhere upstairs in the sewing room.
A room
Oh,
for sewing?
Eating turtle food.
Don't,
No.
take him out. Why are you
No.
standing there? Go save him.
No, I did.
Don't save him.
What do you think I've already done?
I don't know.
Feed him.
Yes.
What's happening?
Oh, my cat was outside all day, so he didn't get fed. So now he's eating the turtle.
Not much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. that was easy.
Yeah.
This was a lot of
Do
fun.
that next time you're getting robbed.
Okay.
Next time. Not just. Good question.
I
If
can
I were to
probably go
order-
find one upstairs to you, Sadie.
I was going to order sheets. Would you be willing to go pick it up? Tragic.
And done.